Go now. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. It is a Monday, August 27th, 2018. I am your narrator supreme, Mr. Robb Robot Shlomo, coming to you from Shabby Road Studios, the shabbiest road of them all. With me is Mr. Tom Connors.
Good evening, sir.
And joining us is the one, the only Miss Random Game User, Mecha Random42.
Hello. I think everyone's still getting used to the name change.
Yes, I'm getting used to it too, yeah. So anyway, we got to actually, I'm drinking coffee out of my Batman mug because we got Batman news. Muse?
Yeah.
We got Batman news tonight, yeah. When I say muse, I mean Random's my muse. So that's what I mean. She has that effect on me. But anyway, the Robin to our Howards. So anyway, Batman news. And actually, speaking of Howard, I was literally listening to Howard Stern this morning, and they were replaying an interview with Alec Baldwin. And would you know, Alec Baldwin is joining the Joker movie. So the call sheet is shaping up: Robert De Niro, Zazie Beetz, Mark Maron, and Alec Baldwin. This comes from the Hollywood Reporter. Alec Baldwin is joining Joaquin Phoenix in Joker's Warner Brothers standalone movie centered on DC's own clown, Prince of Crime. Baldwin is the latest high-profile actor to join the project, which is scheduled to begin shooting in 2 weeks. Robert De Niro, Deadpool 2 breakout stars Zazie Beetz, giggity, and Glow actor Mark Maron are already on the call sheet. Phoenix is set to portray the DC Comics villain in a film that is more moderately budgeted and blah, blah, nobody cares. The project is also described as a more dark character study than a crime thriller, with Taxi Driver star and the king of comedy as tonal watchword. Yes, the king of comedy, because, yes, you want to emulate a Jerry Lewis movie that isn't The Day the Clown Cried. Baldwin has been tapped for the role of Thomas Wayne, who in Batman lore is the father of Bruce Wayne, the future Caped Crusader. But this is a movie project that will veer off center from the traditional Batman canon. Bruce, did I say Lane?
Yes, you did.
Oh God, Denny, I'm thinking.
Give me your fucking card right now.
I'm thinking of Paul McCartney's band after the Beatles. Denny Lane.
I'll give you a pass on this one. It was probably a slip.
Yeah, Thomas Wayne, who in Batman lore is the father of Bruce Wayne, the future Caped Crusader. But this being a movie project that will veer off center from the traditional Batman canon, sources say the script paints Thomas Wayne as a cheesy and tanned businessman who is more in the mold of a 1980s Donald Trump. Oh, for God's sake. Baldwin already has plenty of experience playing Trump via Saturday Night Live, which recently earned him a second Emmy nomination for the role. The actor currently can be seen on screen in the Paramount hit Mission Impossible Fallout, and recently wrapped a role in Motherless Brooklyn, a crime drama being made by Warner's. Look, I'm the best Thomas Wayne of all time, okay? There's no comparison. No comparison. All you other Thomas Waynes, you're all schmucky mucks, okay? Okay.
What's funny is, wasn't he up for the part of Batman originally?
Tom,
in 89?
Tom, that was fake news. That was total fake news. You know, I was never up for the part of Batman. I was up for the part of Batwoman, as you know. Because Batwoman, she has the thing for the ladies. Okay? And as you know, I want to grab him by the pussy. And, it's totally fitting with the character. So, Matt Deckard says, can we bring Trump into the movies? It's total fake news. It's fake news, as you know.
He's already in Home Alone 2.
I was in Home Alone, yes. I was nominated
for
the
video for On Our Own with Bobby Brown from Ghostbusters 2.
That's right.
I was nominated for Best Appearance for an Academy Award for Best Appearance in a Music Video. It was a new category. They had to make it up just for me, as you know. So, for God's sake. Oh, I don't care about this movie. I really don't care. Oh, yeah, he was the Shadow. Thank you, Snuffles Darkness. Yeah, he was the Shadow. He was Jack Ryan, the Shadow, yeah. Oh, but I don't care.
Well, that I know, but I think I swear I remember he was one of the possibilities in 89 for Batman. But
look, it's fake news. Total fake news. This is the better Trump impression, okay? Okay, this is total fake. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, Hollywood, full of snowflakes. All right, the liberal media, the elite media. We're the elite. We have more money. Okay. This new Joker movie is going to be the greatest Joker movie ever. Okay, that's if Michael Cohen can stay out of jail. So, okay. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I was like on board with this until the whole businessman thing. Since when is Thomas Wayne a businessman?
He's a doctor. He's a esteemed surgeon, Dr. Thomas Wayne. He actually says in Batman Begins, we leave our money to better men. Better men? Well, more interested. So.
I mean, I was going to say, I think that was kind of the whole thing that instilled in Bruce this whole thing about, being humble even though they're as rich and important as they are in the city, I thought, yeah.
Now, does this mean Thomas Wayne will go bankrupt 4 times? So.
It was only 3.
It was only 3. Fake news. The Wayne Taj Mahal, beautiful casino, nice golf course.
This Joker movie, I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Really, are you that desperate for more movies around the Bat family?
Well,
really?
the 21-year-old girls really like all the Joker pop figures, and they like dressing up as Harley, so they need a Joker to dress up as Harley against.
I doubt you'll see Harley in this.
It's gonna work well around Halloween, as we all know. Joker, I'm gonna see Harley. I'm gonna grab her by the pussy. So as you all know,
I don't know.
She'll let you do anything you want. So, okay.
And I should actually be peppy because I spent most of the day catching up on sleep. But I just read this and I'm just like, okay, at first, and then I seen the whole thing about him being a businessman, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, for God's sake, I started Mixcraft for some reason. I was going back
to don't lose your audio there because
no,
because sometimes it likes to take over.
Well, Zazie Beetz is in this movie. I like her, so I liked her in Deadpool too. She was really good.
She was just there.
She was kind of didn't mind.
I did watch the Super Duper cut or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah,
it plays a little better.
Does?
Yeah, because you don't get to the kid for like 45 minutes.
I hated that kid. I really did. He was... and then
And none of the new stuff has to do with him, from what I could tell. So.
I'm watching On Demand the other day, and you know how like they show previews for movies? And the kid and Zazie Beetz are sitting on the couch. Oh, Ryan Reynolds, he's a nutter. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, this kid has no business saying anything. Oh my God. He's annoying. But you couldn't make in the comics. He's blonde. He has blonde hair and blue eyes. Oh, you can't have that now. Oh no.
No, but I do have to admit that the actual longer version plays a little better. So that's a rarity.
Yeah.
So.
Well, The Abyss had the longer version that was better.
Sometimes it depends on the film, though. But I mean, we've had this glutton of unrated extended cuts, where 9 times out of 10 you can tell why the shit was cut out to begin with.
Yeah. I think they do that just to sell a DVD. It's like, it's different than what you saw.
Oh, of
Double
course.
Double dip the DVDs, yeah.
I mean, and as hated as like Green Lantern is, I'll still say that the theatrical version is a lot better than the extended cut. Stuff like that, Same thing with, even though people like the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman, to me, it's the same movie. It's just a few things are in a little different order, and things you had to basically figure out for yourself, or, there in front of you. There's like one storyline that's added that actually added a little bit to the story, and that was kind of why Clark was going after Bruce Wayne. But now we've gone on this way off tangent here. But yeah. So we have some more Batman related news and stuff.
Well,
like
yeah,
that, so.
just Wolverine fangirl. You want to highlight my name? Just use Robot Shlomo, not my full name. So, even though it is on my Twitter handle. So, anyways, well, New York's a big place, so that's what I always say. Damon Eaton designs.
Fangirl, isn't that Sarah Moreno from our group?
Is it?
I think so.
Knock twice if you're Sarah Moreno. Like I could hear you through this.
Yeah.
She could use emojis.
Yes. So, but Damon Damon Eaton Designs says, why is it so hard for WB to just make a real comic book movie? Marvel figured it out. You just put the source material you own on screen. Because they're ashamed of the source material. That's why. Because they feel they still have to be embarrassed by it. They're stuck in the 90s. So anyway, let's move on to the next Batman-related story.
Yeah.
The clickbaity thumbnail should tell you that where we're going with this. And I'll admit it's clickbait because I made it. Cinema Blend, or as I call them, Cinema Bland, gave us this story. Given the history of the Caped Crusader on the silver screen, it's hardly a surprise that Matt Reeves' The Batman has become one of the most talked about projects on the DC slate. For the War for the Planet of the Apes director has slowly but surely put his story together, seemingly taking his time in scripting. Okay, yada, 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 nobody cares. That said, it sounds like one piece of casting could potentially be on the horizon, as a new rumor has surfaced suggesting that Oscar Isaac has been approached for a possible role in the movie. According to a new report from Omega Underground, there are rumors floating around the web suggesting that Warner Brothers has met with Oscar Isaac about a potential role in Matt Reeves' upcoming Batman movie. No concrete details have been confirmed just yet, but the rumors note that the Annihilation actor reportedly seems very interested in the role. Oh, good for him. One thing worth noting about this rumor is there's no
rolls with butter.
I like croissants. Anyway, one thing worth noting about this rumor is that there's no indication as to the nature of the role. It could be either a hero or a villain role, either of which would suit Oscar Isaac's history in big-budget franchises. As far as potential villainous characters are concerned, some recent rumors have suggested the Penguin could appear in the film. Oh, please don't. While other recent reports also confirmed that Black Mask would join the Gotham side of the DCEU in Kathy Yan's Birds of Prey. It is still unclear if either of these roles where Isaac could be leaning yada, yada, yada. Nobody cares. When I go yada, 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 nobody cares. All this feeds into some exciting rumors that we've heard about the Batmans in recent days. Though Matt Reeves has remained very tight-lipped about the film, earlier reports also suggested that the movie could take some important cues from Frank Miller's Batman Year One, not unlike Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins. For the moment, Oscar Isaac already has his hands full in another franchise. Star Wars Episode 9, nobody cares about. Okay. Tom, you were saying he could very well play Harvey Dent.
Yeah, I was saying, because I think people forget that just last week, I think we were reporting that Ben Affleck was still attached. And I said chances are it could be a young Batman where he's remembering back, and obviously Oscar Isaac would not be playing a young Ben Affleck. Chances are he's playing somebody like a Harvey Dent or something like that is what I was thinking.
Yeah, that would make a lot. He kind of gives off the Harvey Dent vibe from the comic books. He really kind of does. Spider Geronimo, Whoopi Goldberg to play Martha Wayne. that would be casting outside the box. It really would.
And we wouldn't be allowed to mention it at all without being attacked.
Yo, Batman, my main man. How y'all doing?
Now we're out in this alley and you gotta pull a gun on me. What kind of idiot pulls a gun on you in the alley? Oh, you want my purse and my pearls? Okay.
Did you ever see that episode of
That was my worst Whoopi Goldberg ever.
Did you ever see that episode of Saturday Night Live when Patrick Stewart hosted, and they did the Star Trek Love Boat parody, and Guinan, Alan Cleghorn was Guinan, Captain, my main man, red alert. He's like, red alert. Oh, that was good shit. That was really good shit. Most people don't know that the name of the ship was not the Star Trek. It was the Enterprise. And the doctor was not named Boney. It was Forrest D. Kelly. You're just getting it everything wrong. Graham says, why does everyone want to cover up Oscar's face? Because he's just so handsome. Because it'd be so it would.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean he'll be Two-Face in the movie. He could just be a young Harvey Dent, a lawyer.
He could just be Harvey Dent. Well, please do Long Halloween. Just do something different. You always go back to year one. You always go back to Frank Miller. Do Long Halloween. Do Hush. Do
we have any sort of script or anything? Do we know that Harvey Dent's even in this? Like he might be somebody completely.
Well, no,
that we
I
don't
was
even
just
know,
saying,
so.
yeah. I was just saying, for instance, being his age, and if they are going to be telling a younger Batman story, it could be, like you said, he could be playing the Black Mask for all we know.
Yeah. Yeah, Killing the Work says, what about Bane? They've done Bane already. Yeah.
You have my permission not to use me in a movie for a while.
You may know that being in a Batman movie is a bit of an honor, but not as Harvey Dent, because you must respect his authority.
So, oh boy. But yes, am I the only one who was in The Dark Knight Rises and was saying, what the fuck is he saying?
No. They needed subtitles.
Yes. When did they do Bane? They did Bane for I Cthulhu. They did Bane for The Dark Knight Rises.
And for Batman and Robin.
Yeah, and Batman. Yeah, and he was also in the cartoons several times. So, but yeah. Do we have anything else to say about this story?
Why?
Part of it, not really, other than don't trust the clickbait. But there was an adjacent story to this with Star Wars and Oscar Isaac that just came out, and Random actually did a video about it earlier too.
Yeah, Random, why don't you take us through that story, since I don't have my notes. I don't have it on my notes.
Do you want me to read the whole story, or?
Well, just take us through the nuts and bolts. Wolverine Fangirl first says, "Why not No Man's Land?" That's a completely different movie. Wolverine Fangirl, giggity. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so basically the whole clickbaity title was an IndieWire article saying that Oscar Isaac has the best reaction to The Last Jedi Backlash and hopes angry fans get inspired to create their own stuff. Which basically kind of clickbaited, I think me especially, into assuming that he was talking about, like fans saying, we don't like it. So he's like, oh, go make your own movie then, and all that stuff. And the whole body of the article is basically referencing some little trial that got put on Comic-Con about Poe versus, what's her name? Vice Admiral Holdo. Yeah, and he wasn't even at Comic-Con. He wasn't specifically asked anything about Comic-Con or any of he was asked about the Comic-Con thing. He wasn't specifically asked about like the remake of The Last Jedi or any of the fan movies or projects. And yeah, am I missing anything, Tom, on that? Without finding the whole article.
Well, you had talked to me earlier, and you'd made some good points. Like, first of all, the trial thing, and then you had said the article kind of alluded to it being about the fan film. Yeah, so I think you got most of it there. But basically, I'm not against what he's saying. At least he's not saying, fuck you guys, or you're a bunch of asshole man babies like a lot of the other ones are. He's saying, go be creative. Show us what you would want to do. Whether he means make your own Star Wars fan film or just do your own thing, at least he's channeling that into a creative, and because I've said similar things to people on our videos when they don't agree with how something is presented or what have you. I just like, look, go ahead and do your own thing. If that's the way you think it should be, do it your way. Now, is he trying to be like a dick? No, I don't think so. I think he's just kind of trying to say, look, channel that creativity into something different, and it's not a bad thing necessarily, I don't think. I mean, I could be,
Well, yeah. Well, the whole thing is, like you said, there have been cases where people didn't like a certain work and they were inspired to create their own work. Like I said,
50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey versus Twilight is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, well, we're talking about inspired good work.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
But anyway, but Terry Brooks wanted to do author Terry Brooks. He wanted to do Lord of the Rings. He wanted to write Lord of the Rings books, but he couldn't. So he wrote The Sword of Shannara. So and Spielberg wanted to do Bond, so he couldn't do it because he couldn't get the rights, so he did Indiana Jones. I mean, so people have been inspired by other things, and that is a good thing.
George Lucas couldn't get the rights to Buck Rogers or Flash Gordon, so he did Star Wars.
Exactly. So so not being happy with certain properties can lead you to create something of your own and something good. And there's a loud motorcycle going. What is with these people in loud exhausts? I don't understand. So anyway, but anyway, we digress.
Horny. You need to hang that out your window, and then we'll know when they can see it because they'll honk.
Grass, ass, or gas, no one rides for free. So that was big in the 70s. So as Captain April might be able to tell you. Oh, but anyway. Yeah, Kimbap Tempura, sort of Shannara, was a ripoff of Lord of the Rings hard. Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, it's a ripoff. I mean, back in the day, we used to say inspired by. So, but there's like I said, there's a line from Stardust Memories in Woody Allen movie where he's doing a press conference for his new movie because he plays a director in a Woody Allen-like director, and this guy thinks he's going to get him. He says, "Yes, isn't that scene inspired by Vincent Price's House of Wax?" He goes, "Inspired by? No, we stole it." So. Yeah, so really, everybody's a thief. Everybody's a thief. You just gotta hide. It's how well you hide it.
Well, just like the whole Star Trek thing we were just reporting. Same difference.
Yeah, McFarlane couldn't do Trek, so we got the Orville, as Joker said. Josh Tanette, we'd like to thank you for the 250 Hong Kong dollar super chat. He says, actually, I liked Oscar Isaac's comment. Very professional. He did not attack the fans. At least one of them seems to be a good guy. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I did like that about the article too. That he definitely. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, he did. He didn't take the opportunity to even like be kind of assumed to attack the fans. He chose his words very, very carefully, and he's like, "I love that. It's incredible." He used all the positive sort of language. He didn't. Yeah, I swear this is probably Comic-Con was before a lot of the Rian Johnson stuff, right? So this is probably or around the time of. So I'm pretty sure, or Rian Johnson attacking the fans on Twitter, basically. Yeah, I think that's a really good thing that he didn't that he didn't go and attack the fans. You were gonna say something, Tom?
Well, actually, I was going to get into just something to that effect, but then also it's like I just found it interesting, to go along with the whole Batman story before when, we were talking about this before the show and on Twitter and stuff, and you had just kind of dug into when he said it, the way the articles were presenting it. It was almost like they were trying to stir up controversy by digging something up from months ago. Yeah. And then trying to connect three different dots that necessarily didn't even connect.
Well, yeah, because you never see any exact questions that these people are asked. You never see their exact responses. You see sort of snippets of and quotes of things, and they're always quotes from other articles too. It's always, well, I'm reporting what this article has said from this source. So, how much of this kind of grand game of telephone can we even trust on a lot of these? I think Disney PR or whoever is still kind of trying to cover up probably that latest trailer that really, really absolutely flopped. And they probably are also, maybe his publicist is trying to get his name out there for this whole Batman thing. So just to get people talking about a lot of this stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think I think the sites are trying to go with clickbait. They're just trying. I think they are. They're trying to not sensate. Yeah, they're trying to sensationalize. He really didn't say anything that inflammatory. So yeah, they're trying. Yes, Captain April. Yes, they're trying to provoke nerd rage, so they can drive traffic to their sites. And it's the end of the month. Got to get those clicks, baby.
Yeah, and this is kind of why we have gravitated towards like you and Doomcock, because you guys do question what's right in front of you, and that's what we do here at Midnight's Edge. And always, I mean, this show here, the live show, is more about our opinions.
Yeah.
But in the mini documentaries, the news briefs, stuff like that, it's more about, you know, what's out there. We got to try and read between the lines. Sometimes we get accused of some of the things you just said, random. But the reason is because all we have to go by are these very, you know, random, you know, pun intended, fucking articles all over the place. And we have to piece them together like, you know, puzzles and trying to figure out where lies the truth in between the cracks, basically. And
You
some...
said crack.
Yeah. Crack.
Well, it's exactly like the whole Kelly Marie Tran getting bullied off of social media. The original article, if you trace it back, it's just speculated. They didn't have any evidence of anything. Like, if you trace it back, and this was months ago, and I even put out on Twitter, I'm like, wait a minute, this is speculation. What if the real reason is also speculation by me, but maybe she was just off, you know, on
they were able to find a whole shitload of tweets, and this, that, and the other are always deleted. Why can't they find these tweets and stuff on Instagram that were supposed racist remarks? You know, I have not seen one yet. At least the Ghostbuster articles cited the same 3 remarks.
Yeah. It's all this media spin, and none of it, it's all tabloid journalism anymore. None of it stems in anything other than like one rumor, and one rumor just gets kind of ran with and ran into the ground, you know. And oh man, and that's why I still kind of go back to the Kelly Marie Tran thing. And I mean, I'm sure the Ghostbusters articles were the same way if enough people would have like really been digging, and you guys were really digging on a lot of those, but not a lot of other people were, you know. Not a lot of people were like, oh yeah, people are just misogynist, and I kept hearing that, and it was only Midnight's Edge that was like kind of saying, wait a minute, here's the thing, who said this? And
I just can't help but think right now, Kelly. Hey, if it means anything to you, Kelly Marie Tran, go give Yoko Ono a call. You're not the first Asian woman to ruin something people love. Oh, that's a bad taste. Bad. Oh well.
They're going straight to hell for that one.
My buddy Dave Sheen was doing a stand-up set, and actually he did have a very nice lady stand up and say, "Boy, you're going to hell." I'm like, and Dave Sheen is like, my buddy Dave is like the most benign comedian ever.
And
he's
that's
like,
where you come
like
back
Stephen
with,
Wright.
I know I am, so that's why I'm going in style.
Mm. Well, if you're gonna miss heaven, as Sam said, if you're gonna miss heaven, don't miss it by a few feet. But anyway, we got one more news story actually.
Yeah.
And somebody in the chat brought up Guardians of the Galaxy.
And we didn't do a news brief on this, and we haven't really talked about it yet because it's really, what are you going to say? It was kind of like everybody figured it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And not only that, what are you going to say? It's not happening, at least not for now.
From the file, rather. This actually comes us. Where did I think I got this from Cosmic Book News. A couple of days ago, saw it rumored that Marvel Studios is moving forward with a Doctor Strange 2, but now there's a question if it's actually replacing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Doctor Strange 2 plus Guardians of the Galaxy 3 equals equals Iron Man 4. Oh, okay. Iron Man 5. But anyway, the rumor mentioned that filming on Doctor Strange 2 is supposed to start in spring of 2019, which will see Benedict Cumberbatch back in the titular role. You said titular. And getting a hefty pay raise. Prior to James Gunn getting fired for offensive tweets, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was set to start filming in February 2019 for its 2020 release. However, Disney has yet to give it an official release date, and it's been reported that Disney may have to delay the start of production as the search for a new director continues. To boot, there has been questions if the Guardians actors will return without James Gunn. It is possible that due to the James Gunn controversy, that Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige and Disney may have decided to go forward with Doctor Strange 2 ahead of time. Well, Kevin Feige did previously confirm that they will be doing Doctor Strange 2. He also said it will be years away. and they go into Doctor Strange 2. It could be very well possible that the Doctor Strange 2 rumor is not true, or Marvel Studios could simply be overlapping the filming of their movies, which wouldn't be unheard of. I do believe, this is the author saying, Black Panther and the Avengers Infinity War filmed around the same time, and Captain Marvel recently filmed as well. So Marvel could simply be filming Guardians of the Galaxy 3 first and then start doing Doctor Strange 2 a couple months or so later. Regarding if Doctor Strange 2 is actually replacing Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it does seem to make sense. Okay, Benedict Cumberbatch, Robert Downey Jr., yada, 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 Marvel Phase 4 plans.
But Doctor Strange is dead.
Doctor Strange,
easy.
Yeah. Another reason, okay, anyways, wrapping up, and another reason Doctor Strange 2 could replace Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is that it has been said Marvel's Phase 4 plans are also going cosmic in a big way. While technically Marvel's first Phase 4 film will be Spider-Man Far From Home, Doctor Strange 2 would obviously be better fit to launch the cosmic universe, especially in something like an Infinity Watch movie. So, but just make a Nova movie, please. You can make a Nova movie just so easily. Just for God's sake. It's dirty. You want to go all this cosmic stuff. I mean, you got Nova, you got
I think it was delayed because Waititi's busy or something. I think that he's probably the one who's on board for it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, to me, it felt like they were trying to rush to get somebody to take it over. And this tells me they either found their person or they just nobody was willing to take it on. One of the two. The other slight possibility will be they push it off long enough to where they think everybody's forgotten about the whole James Gunn mess and they quietly hire him back. But I doubt it. That's like a far, far out there possibility. But that it's not surprising news. We kind of seen this coming. It was one of the first things I said. The movie's going to get delayed.
Yeah. Captain Robert April, Fantastic Four, anyone? Yeah. That's always Nova, Quasar, Silver Surfer. Yeah. I mean, take your pick if you want to go cosmic, really. And Eternals. Actually, they're working on an Eternals script. And I told you people they're going to do an Eternals movie 3 years ago. Nobody, anyone listen to me? No. What does he know? What does Robb know? Oh, yeah, Rob's just an idiot. Yeah, I told you. So, and I got the proof to back it up. So, unlike some people. But anyway, so yeah. If Taika Waititi is their guy, then is he? What is he doing now?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's shooting something. That's why. Otherwise, the only other people who you're going to get, Jon Favreau, the Russos. If that's the case, I think they're finishing up Avengers 4. That's why. So even if that's the case, okay, so if you got the Russos to do it, then that's why. It's because whoever they got to do it is busy. Or like I said, nobody wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole right now.
Yeah. Actually, he's working on a movie called Jojo Rabbit as an actor. Jojo Rabbit?
As a director also.
As a director, yeah.
I was going to say, chances are if he's in it, he's probably directing it too. He's one of those.
Yeah. Jojo Rabbit. He directed a short called Team Daryl. He's working on a television series called What We Do in the Shadows. Ooh, sounds intriguing.
Team Daryl, that was the Thor shorts.
Oh, motherfucker! Oh, damn! Sorry, Snuffles. There, he directed the In-Betweeners. How did I not know that?
Oh, nice.
I love the In-Betweeners. Yeah, he directed 5 episodes. First day, Sunshine Mountain, The Wrong Box, The Master's Field Trip. Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's a great British series for people who don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a live action Beavis and Butthead, only there's 4 of them.
Oh no, but he directed the American In-Betweeners.
Oh.
Okay, so never mind. So, but if you want to watch the In-Betweeners, watch the original UK series.
Yes.
Which is
they
actually
also have
really,
a movie.
really they have 2 movies.
Oh, I need to see the second one then.
Joker's,
I only saw the first one.
Joker's 79 says Jojo Rabbit is about a boy with Hitler as an imaginary friend, I believe. Oh, lovely.
Oh God, sounds like that Jodie Foster movie, The Beaver.
It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't.
Oh, freaking yeah! In the second In-Betweeners movie, Jay goes down to Australia, and they all follow him down.
Okay.
And Jay supposedly like he's the Mac Daddy down there. He's living it up. So yeah. But
Bus wankers, they just type in the chat. Super Smash reviews. He gets it.
Yes. Bus wankers. Little Fiat Uno, yeah. Fiat Cinquecento, yeah. Yeah, that's a great series. I love that. And someone once, not to get too far off topic, someone said about, oh well, Americans won't get the In-Betweeners because it's about British teenagers. I'm like, teenagers are teenagers everywhere. Doesn't make a difference. They all have the same problems.
Yeah.
They don't get any better when you get older either.
Yeah. We never get chicks.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't either.
Join the club. So.
Wow.
I'm no good with girls. Hey.
No, I mean chicks. I never get chicks.
Hey, hey, Rodney, you want to go out and meet some women? I'm no good with one. I'm no good with girls. Let me tell you. I sat on a blind date once. This girl standing in the corner. I said, "Are you Louise?" She said, "Are you Rodney?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I'm not Louise." So anyway, Taika Waititi, he's busy. He's in demand, so hopefully he's gonna do Guardians 3. He seems to be the guy to do it. He's gonna do it all night long, isn't he?
And I have nothing to back that up with, by the way. I'm just saying,
saying that he seems to be the logical choice.
And he was rumored to be in the offices talking to him recently, which could be about anything. Could be about Thor 4. You know, who knows?
Do you think Kevin Feige like sits at the front of the room like stroking like a Angora cat, like Blofeld?
No, I think he's like a big geek.
Sit down, Mr. Waititi.
To be honest,
we will discuss.
Yeah, he's probably got a
project
a long
later.
box of comic books in front of him at his desk. And he's just constantly reading, and that's kind of how I picture.
He probably doesn't even have a desk.
A beanbag.
I can picture him having like a desk with a lucite top on it, but all like comic book covers underneath it. That would be awesome. The Starjammers, yeah, Wolverine Fangirl, yeah, the Starjammers. That would be actually pretty cool. So anyway, we got any other news stories?
Well, there was the whole Roseanne thing. Dan, Jesus Christ. John Goodman, I guess, confirmed today that they are killing Roseanne's character off for the Connors, which was expected. And
They're killing me off.
and a lot of people are like, "Oh, this ain't gonna work." But I was like, "Well, it didn't seem to matter that they killed Valerie off." So
Yeah, they killed
I was
off.
Yeah, I was about to say 2 words, Valerie Harper. Yeah.
Or even didn't Archie Bunker's place do okay?
Edith, yeah, after Edith, yeah, it ran for a couple more seasons, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Archie.
And that was just because she got sick of playing Edith.
Yeah, she quit, yeah. So they killed her off. I remember Archie Bunker's place. Remember the Daniel Brisbois. She goes, so what do you want there, little girl? I want to go to the cemetery, see Edith, see Auntie Edith. I'm like, wait, what happened to Edith? It was a bummer of a way to start a season for a sitcom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray Rain says, does anyone really thinks this will work? Well, if they find the right guy, right guy or woman. I have to say guy or woman now. So, we're talking about Roseanne. Are we talking about Roseanne? Or are we talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
We're still talking about Roseanne. Or now we're talking about Roseanne, I think. I think it'll be all right. I don't think it'll be nearly... I mean, you'll have the people will be curious. So you'll have the curiosity factor for at least the first few episodes to carry it. After that, if the show works, people will watch. I think Dan was voted the best dad in TV history. So I really don't think that people are going to miss Roseanne all that much once the show gets going. If they find a way to utilize Dan, and since the show was already kind of revolving more around Sarah Gilbert's character anyway in some respects.
Yeah.
So
I saw Sarah Gilbert here because she went to Yale. I saw her in a bar one night. I'm like, she's not She looks like, yeah, that's her. She looks exactly the same. No makeup, whatever.
Well, she didn't really wear a whole lot, too.
No, she looks exactly the same in person. So anyway, all right. So we want to open the floor to questions now, or do we want to just a free form discussion?
I think so. I don't think there was really anything else to cover, was there?
No, we got any more news? No,
not offhand. No, not that I can think of. Random?
No, I think it was such a slow day. I think that's why they were making all this news about Oscar Isaac, and it seems like they were just kind of having to find stuff to talk about. So they're pulling.
Well,
Alec
hey,
Baldwin's
what's kind of a big deal, but I don't think he's going to be in the movie all that much. No. I really don't.
Probably not. I mean, he's not. He's kind
Unless
of not
they come
really
up with some contrived connection to Thomas Wayne in the Mob or Thomas Wayne in the Joker. It's stupid. It's just another way of trying to connect Batman to a non-Batman property.
Well, I did see that Disney streaming service actually has a name now, called Disney Play. And but the thing is, they are not getting the original Star Wars movies and the prequels just because those are still tied up with TNT and TBS.
Yeah, we had brought that up before.
2024.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy though. I'm like, good. But I'm actually scanning Deadline to see if there's any other news. No, it's a pretty slow news day actually.
Well, Dominic Monaghan cast in. How recent was that? Was that last week? Did we talk about that already?
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp made $68 million in China. Actually, that's pretty good. And damn it, loud exhaust again. So
no, we didn't talk about Dominic, but there really wasn't much to go with it.
And the only other headline I can see is there's going to be a sequel to A Dog's Purpose called A Dog's Journey. I'm like, I don't want to see that. That's not. I don't want to. That's okay. Listen, you talk about animal abuse in those kind of movies. That's watching those dogs. I can't watch a dog movie because the only thing I'm asking myself is the dog gonna make it? Is the dog?
I heard the movie was people abuse. If you had to watch it,
yeah, it's audience abuse. I'm like, that's tugging on the heartstrings. I'm like, there's no sadder thing like when the dog doesn't make it. No.
Well, and the thing is, the dog kept like dying over and over and over again. Yeah. And then finally at the end he's reunited with his original owner. But what about all the other people that had him in between and every other single life? They never get to see him again?
Nah, screw them.
Well, here's the problem with most animal movies. They're not Dennis Quaid. Unless the dogs are talking, there's a 99% chance that dog's not going to make it through the third act.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't watch those. I have to look up on things. Is the animal going to die? There's a whole website of it. Doesthedogdie.com, I think is what it is.
Mark Fields is asking, who do I think would play Nova? That's a good question.
There's only 3 movies I can think where it's justified that the dog dies. Cujo, John Wick, and Old Yeller. That's it. Those 3 instances are it. Otherwise, it's gratuitous.
Yeah.
At least James Belushi's canine had the, at least they kept the dog alive at the end, unlike Turner and Hooch.
Ah, yeah, that one got me. It's like, damn it, you killed him. Of course, I was a kid then too, and you didn't have the ability to look it up or know.
Well, anyway,
that one was devastating.
Yeah. Now you got me thinking of Stripes. Who saw Old Yeller? Who cried when Old Yeller got shot at the end? Nobody cried when an Old Yeller got shot at the end. I cried my eyes out. Yeah. Okay. Back to the chat. Who would play Nova? Who do I think would play Nova? That's a good question, Tom. I honestly have no idea. I have no idea. I've very. There was a guy who was supposed to play Hal Jordan named Dan M. Boyer. He makes a brief cameo in Batman v Superman as a drone pilot. He should be, if not Nova, he should be in something. So, Tom, who do you think would play Nova?
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph, I will break you. So, What
Beautiful.
about Red? Views like your Popeye. He eats his spinach every day. When Will Smith kills his infected dog in I Am Legend. Yeah, but I Am Legend. I was like, oh
So
no.
there's some good honorable mentions in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the red fern grows, stuff like that.
Yeah. Anthony Altieri, are they going to do anything with Adam Warlock?
I'm assuming eventually. They wouldn't have teased him for no reason. I think he was eventually.
That's my ride.
I think Gunn had said something about he's not showing up in Guardians 3, but I'm assuming they were setting him up for something else.
I shall call him Adam. So, Riddick was also sad. I didn't see Chronicles Riddick. Captain Wrong Think. They showed his cocoon. Yeah. Men of few words. Hi all. Hi men of few words. So anyway, what's your opinion on Aquaman being called good, not great, and parallels to Phase 1 MCU?
Figured. From what it looked like, it was a Black Panther ripoff anyway, which Black Panther was probably in that pantheon of Marvel movies. I compared it to like the earlier movies, yeah.
Well, you throw the dice enough times, eventually you're going to roll a 7.
Yeah, Mr. Wolverino 007, Midnight's Edge After Dark. How close are we to the 10-year deal with Star Trek? I've been trying to find out the direct answer to that. I don't know if it was from the 2009 date or if it gets renewed when they did movies. I was told it got renewed, but I can't verify it. So that's the best I can tell you on that.
Yeah, actually, Captain Robert April in the chat was saying that John Campea had just did a video about how Star Trek movies are just as popular as they've ever been, and I haven't seen. Yeah, Captain Wrong Thing. Nathan Fillion would make a good Nova, but I haven't seen his video. But just the proposition that Star Trek movies are just as popular as they've always been, I would have to say B and S. I mean, and I love Star Trek. Don't get me wrong.
Then why did Beyond crash?
Yes, it didn't just tank. It tanked spectacularly. It really
because
did.
2 sucked. That's because nobody wanted Khan remade. Basically,
Well,
we
to
didn't
be fair, Beyond would have been okay if it didn't cost so much. That's the problem. They were expecting it to, and even Simon Pegg said it. They were expecting it to be a $1 billion franchise, $1 billion per movie franchise, when that's not Star Trek.
Well, even in the 80s, the Star Trek movies, like I had to go to the next town over to see Star Trek 4 in the theater when I was a kid. It wasn't like mainstream big name. It wasn't Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, they didn't have these huge budgets though either.
No,
they didn't spend a shit ton of money, and I think they even spent less and less and less as they went along until they got to the Generation movies.
Yeah. And they were kind of niche markets, and they were kind of like the same theaters would air horror movies, and they were never meant for these wide broad audiences back then. No. And I think they're trying to make them made for people, these wide audiences now, and they're realizing, wait a minute, Star Trek doesn't have this mass appeal that they think it does. It's not Star Wars.
No. Like Star Trek Beyond. Hey, who do we got to play the bad guy? Idris Elba. What's his track record? Not so good, but what could go wrong? So anyway.
Well, let's put it like this. If the Motionless Picture came out, like, say, a few years ago, okay, instead of the 2009 movie, and they would have followed it up with Wrath of Khan. In the way things are today, Wrath of Khan probably would have flopped out the gate. Because back then, you had time for a movie to gestate and for people to talk about it, and it was in theaters for a while. Home video was a far-off thing kind of yet, to where nowadays a movie doesn't have a chance if it's a decent movie.
There are no second chances now.
If the previous movie sucked, you're done. And that's kind of what happened to Beyond. Regardless, and then they fucked it up with that shitty ad campaign with the Beastie Boys song, which regardless, we know it was a callback to the first movie, but still, it was a piss poor campaign for the movie. I mean, yeah, the movie's not great, but at least it was a step up from Into Darkness. So I don't know if either one of you have seen it, but
what, the third one, Beyond?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Beyond.
Yeah, I just barely remember it.
That's kind of the idea. It's a good enough movie, but good enough is just not I mean, just being good enough isn't you shouldn't be aiming for that. I mean, like I said, it's good enough for a wider audience, but I mean, I'm trying to articulate this here. It's aiming hot. It's trying to be more than what it is, and it's missing. That's kind of what my take on it is now. I mean, it's trying to be this huge blockbuster, and it's just not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm making any sense here.
Oh yeah, that's kind of where I was going with. Star Trek has never been like a mass audience. It's never been like Batman or
Paramount kind of used to treat it that way, but yeah, now they're expecting it to be that way. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Random.
No. And yeah, that you're exactly right. And they don't understand that it's never really been like that. It's never been for everybody. There's always been your kind of niche Star Trek fans. You also have your niche Friday the 13th fans, and I kind of view them as similar in sort of, not everybody is going to be a Friday the 13th fan or a Star Trek fan, but everybody's going to be aware of them.
Yeah. The other thing let me ask, does HBO run movies anymore?
Yeah. Sort of.
They do?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that helped those early Star Trek movies, was that they got a ton of airplay on like HBO and the Movie Channel and Showtime, and so you could see them repeatedly.
Yeah.
Well, the difference is now is people don't have cable.
Yeah.
So they can actually pick and choose what they want to watch on Netflix or Amazon or whatever.
And how many people rewatch stuff on Netflix like we used to on HBO? I mean, because you have your scroll list of anything, and there's a million things you haven't seen. But when in the 80s, especially, you had HBO or Showtime or whatever. You might have two movie channels. You were stuck picking between what was on at the time you were watching. So you kind of got used to rewatching stuff over and over again. If like you were home every day at the same time, and they were airing the same movie every day.
Well, not only that, if you rented a movie, you were getting your money's worth out that sumbitch.
Yes.
You watched it like 6-7 fucking times before you had to take it back. You're like, you're watching your favorite parts like 10 minutes before it's got to get back to the video store because your mom's like, "Come on, I got to just let me watch this one part one more goddamn time."
Absolutely.
Yeah. Shunyungo the Dragon Slayer, Midnight's Edge, After Dark, Rob, Robot, Shlomo. Does that apply with Hollywood remakes of anime like Hollywood Ghost in the Shell as well, trying to be this big wide blockbuster? Yeah. I think they thought Ghost in the Shell was something they could turn into a big mainstream sort of franchise. But they're also trying to have it both ways with Ghost in the Shell. They want to appeal to sort of the anime crowd. Say to the anime crowd, look, we're legit.
You know what this is?
And they said it in Japan but right. Like it's doesn't work though.
You know what these movies are nowadays? They're equivalent of the Dorito taco at Taco Bell.
Dorito tacos.
It's fast food bullshit that we normally get. That's normally just some no-name action movie with said action star, right? But now, since that's not working like it used to, the action stars aren't selling the movies, the properties are, so we get the Dorito taco instead of just the Taco Bell taco. Get what I'm saying? So they've slapped a name on the typical old disposable action movie instead of, it being that anymore. It's whatever said superhero this month, or sci-fi project this month, or kids or teens novel this month, with your Twilights and your Harry Potters and whatnots.
Yeah, the Giver, the Maze Runner. Yeah, I mean it's about a brand,
and it's so it doesn't matter. It's always the same taco you've always had there, but now it's got that name on it. Is all. Yeah.
It's in a brand. It's in a Dorito shell. I remember my brother Dave was lamenting, and again another brother Dave story. He was lamenting, "Oh, there's no movie stars anymore." Like Robert Redford or Paul Newman. I'm like, yeah, and this was in 2001. I'm like, yeah, because when you go see Lord of the Rings, you're not going to see Elijah. What the hell is the guy's name?
Wood.
Elijah Wood. Yeah, I was gonna say Woods, but you're not going to see Elijah Woods or Sean
I went
Astin.
for Sean Astin. No, I'm just kidding.
Or you're not going to see freaking Viggo Mortensen or Ian McKellen. You're going to see Lord of the Rings. The franchise is bigger than the people in it. So when I go see Star Wars, I'm not going to see Ewan McGregor. I'm going to see Star Wars. I mean, so yeah, everybody's just kind of interchangeable. It doesn't matter who's in what now. I mean, yeah, it's all about franchises, and they're trying to. And now it's not even about the franchises. It's just about the noise between the beginning, the start, and the end credits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that.
Pretty much.
am? Say it again. I like hearing I'm right.
You're absolutely right on that. No, it's not. The only movie star really that has that kind of appeal anymore is probably Tom Cruise to a certain extent. He still has his fan base. I'm not the hugest fan of his, but most of these movie stars, or Idris Elba, there are a couple of movie stars that can get away with putting a butt in a seat, but
Tom Hanks probably too.
yeah.
I was gonna say Idris Elba's probably not a good example.
Well, no.
He's good in ensembles. He's like The Rock. And people don't really realize it until I bring it up. It's like The Rock's never had a real big hit on his own. He's done okay, but he's never had a huge hit on his own. Most of his hits are in the ensemble movies.
Yeah. I keep saying this about Idris Elba. His fans think he's a bigger star than he actually is. I mean, and he seems happier doing these little artsy films. He's not the door's closed on him. He's not going to be a big action star. I'm sorry if you're an Idris Elba fan. Fine, great. He's a good actor. I give him that. I really like Luther. Okay, Luther's really really good. I've never seen The Wire, but people tell me he's great in that. He's not going to be a big action star. That's it. That ship has sailed. Snuffles in Darkness, was asking about the Trek log. The Trek log is coming. Phrasing. So, yeah, the Trek log is Tom's your work. How is the Trek log coming, Tom?
I was editing the audio for it today.
Okay. Ray Rain. So, okay, that's right around the corner. Keep your eyes peeled. Ray Rain, which explains what happened with Chris Pine, I think. Chris Hemsworth leaving Star Trek and the movie's still going.
Icthulu has a question. I have a question. What happened to young actors back in the 80s, 90s? There were famous actors in their 20s. Problem is most of these new younger actors can't really act.
Yeah.
You get a few of them that are good, like your Chloe Moretz or what's-her-face from Strange Things, that transition into an actual career in their 20s. But most of these people, either they got to prove themselves, or we live in like the YouTube age where all you gotta do is just be semi-famous and you get thrown in a starring role in a movie. It's like,
look at freaking Aquafina. I mean, what does she actually do? But they're putting her in movies now. I watched one of her videos. She was singing about her vag. I'm like,
Zendaya?
No, Aquafina.
Oh, there's another.
I was watching one of her videos. I'm like, what is this supposed to be?
I didn't think Zendaya was that bad in Spider-Man. No, I mean, it's debatable on whether or not she's Mary Jane and that whole shebang, but I didn't think she did that bad. So
you could cut her out of the movie. Wouldn't really make a whole lot of difference. Really, she only has one or two real scenes where she interacts with Peter Parker or with Spider-Man. She only has a couple lines.
I have a feeling a lot of her stuff probably got on the cutting room floor. That could be, maybe she's not as good as they present her. That could very well be.
Yeah.
They made her. It's such a big deal, and she I hate to call it a bit part, but it wasn't that big of a role. It really wasn't.
Mm-hmm. It was absolutely a bit part. I mean, I had to be told, oh, that's so and so. I'm like, okay, I have no idea who that is. these a lot of these kids that come out of like Disney Channel stuff too. I mean, how good really are they in so many things?
Yeah.
Well, and Cthulhu had a follow up to that right after it. He said, but now they don't, because famous till 30s or later, is that a changing culture, lack of entry level movies? Well, and I think that harkens right back to what we were saying before, is the franchises are the stars now, not the stars.
Yeah.
For every Johnny Depp, you have 10 people who can play anything, and it's not uncommon for, if you're a good actor, to have a long career, and maybe it speaks to that era of actors from the 70s, 80s, and 90s that their careers are still important now in comparison to some of the younger actors that are up and coming. Anyway, is there another question there, Rob?
Yeah, Tyler Bioshock R says, I got a question. Can being discovered too young cause massive damage to a kid? I don't think Emma Watson was a bad kid, but this whole industry has gone to her head. She was too young for all this. Yeah, all you got to do is take a look at Alfalfa.
Yeah.
the little rascals. Alfalfa, he is why you have all those child labor laws in Hollywood. Because his parents exploited him. Total stage parents. They kept him out of school. They deprived him of an education, and they pretty much made him make those Little Rascals films to support them. And like I said, not Charlie Sheen. Who was the other kid? Macaulay Culkin was another one.
Macaulay Culkin. Paul Peterson, going back to the Donna Reed show in the 50s, actually started a charity and to legally help represent a lot of these young actors because all of these kids, I mean, like most of them a lot of them end up on drugs, having sex with Drew Barrymore. Just the list goes on and on with all these young actors.
That's punishment in itself, having sex with Drew Barrymore.
Oh, jeez. Mark Fields, did you guys...
I don't know what you're talking about. I had sex with Drew Barrymore. I thought it was an enjoyable experience. Yippee-dee-doo.
Yeah, I heard about the Big Trouble in Little China movie being a sequel. I guess it depends on if they have Kurt Russell involved. And I don't know. I know The Rock's starring in it, I guess.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a sequel. So, yeah.
Yeah, is it going to be Bigger Trouble in Little China?
Oh, I think there's going to be even bigger trouble in Little China. Yippee-dee-doo.
So, Uncle Fester parents did it to him. He was a kid in a Chaplin film. Yeah.
Jackie Coogan.
Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah. Millie Bobby Brown's gonna be like the next corn harvest sacrifice on South Park. Remember that?
Oh no.
Jesus.
Who's coming? Who's? First experience of Raiden the God. Okay. No Kurt, no deal. He's getting kind of old though.
I don't care. It's fucking Kurt Russell.
He was Ego. I mean,
that's right, and right? he got robbed of an Oscar for Hateful Eight. I'm sorry. Even just a nomination.
Speaking of Tarantino, Pulp Fiction is on demand. I probably should get around to watching it. Actually,
you should, and it's a movie you have to watch from beginning to end. There's reasons for that.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't Reservoir Dogs be better to start though?
Probably.
To kind of get the flow?
If you haven't, because you'll love Reservoir Dogs, probably. Rob, I bet you would, and that's a little easier. She's right. That's an ease into Pulp Fiction because it's a similar storytelling, but it's not as rampant, and at least all the characters are related more so. To where Pulp Fiction, everything goes off of, like, there's just subtle relations to most of the characters. Some of them are a little more related than others, but it's like 5 or 6 different stories or whatever all rolled into one. To where Reservoir Dogs, it has that bounce around storytelling, but it's about one story. Does that make sense?
Yeah. All I know is my friend Kevin was raving about Reservoir Dogs one time. He kept playing the soundtrack over and over and over and over.
It's
and
got
over.
a wonderful soundtrack.
I actually prefer the soundtrack to Pulp Fiction, or to Reservoir Dogs over Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. And all I know is my friend Kevin, he has terrible tastes in movie. And as long as there's a high body count, he thinks it's a piece
there is, but it's justified.
Okay.
Far Point Station. Here's our poop. Here's our poop one for tonight. You want to read it, Rob?
If you clogged the toilet in the first time at dinner at your in-laws' house and couldn't find the plunger, would you unclog it with your hands? Why or why not?
Oh shit!
You mean I was supposed? You mean there's another way to unclog the toilet?
Are you asking for a friend, Farpoint Station?
I'm just picturing the Ren and Stimpy adult whatever episode where that happened, and then I think Stimpy did carry it. I think I've only seen it once, but
Yeah, You toss that shit out the window. I don't know. Ay.
That's
Thank you so much for that Farpoint Station.
Yeah. So Tyler Bioshock R. So Rob, your pal legitimately loves garbage like crazy fat Ethel. No, he loves garbage like diggers. Movies with Paul Rudd about guys who dig up clams in a New England town.
I don't even know if I've ever heard of that one.
And he likes what other crap does he like? He liked that freaking Bobcat Goldthwait movie, where everybody just it's all in slow motion. Everybody dies at the end.
Oh, is that newer one he did?
Yeah, I don't know, but he's just like, oh,
God
Bobcat's,
Bless America.
I don't know. He just kept saying, oh, Bobcat's a dark soul. Oh, he's an artist. I'm like, shut up. Would you
Well,
just
most
shut
of his
up,
movies
character?
are pretty good, that part, but just because, a clock's right twice a day.
Yeah. Yeah. I shouldn't speak too ill of my friend Kevin. I helped him pour us the cement floor in his basement. So I mean, at least that's something. Yeah, MK Ultra Diggers. Yeah. This movie. Paul Rudd. Sarah Paulson is also in it. Takes place in the 70s. Yeah, a big fish, like commercial fishing company comes in and starts fishing all the shellfish, and everybody in the town who used to fish gets thrown into poverty by it. So I don't get it. It's slice of life movie.
I shouldn't laugh. Sometimes I like movies like that Man Who Sued God, and a few other ones I've talked about before.
That actually looks like a clever premise. I haven't seen it yet.
And then the original. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but that actually is a clever premise, and then the whole thing. I'm just trying to get my boat back. It's not. He's not even trying to make a point. I'm just trying to get my boat back.
And then the other one was Strange Bedfellows, which was the original Chuck and Larry movie, the one they based it on. But it has Paul Hogan, and I can't remember the other guy in it. But that version's much, 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 much better than Chuck and Larry.
Billy Connolly is the man who sued God. Like this. Just Kurt Russell is 65, 66. Well, make up your mind. Is he 65 or 66?
Who cares? He's Kurt Russell.
Yeah. Ricky Radio, Bobcat Goldthwait's story about when he was director of the Jimmy Kimmel Show, how he handled Nickelback when they came on the show. Hilarious. Look it up. He gets Nickelback good. Yeah, but that's not exactly an accomplishment, though.
They're such an easy target. I mean, I don't really particularly like them, but I don't see why people hate them so much. They're so generic to hate. It's kind of like hating a glass of water. It's just,
okay,
they're just bland. They're not particularly like offensive. They're not Star Trek Discovery. I mean.
At worst, they're Space 1999. Space 1999 had some moments, but
Rob's biased though, because you're a Sam man, so you're biased against Bobcat.
Not really.
I'm just picking on you.
But there was one episode of Space 1999 where this big squid was killing people, and it would actually burn them. But then somebody killed it by chopping it with an axe. I was like, okay, cool. I was like 6 or 7 at the time.
Right.
Space 1999 used to air on Channel 11 WPIX in New York on Saturday at like maybe 2 in the afternoon. It was on network TV in Canada. But it was on first run syndication in America.
Captain Wrongthink makes a good point here. Age won't factor into Kurt Russell playing Jack Burton. Jack couldn't fight for shit in the first film. Yes, that's why I loved him, because he was like the anti-action hero. He's always getting knocked out, does the wrong thing, doesn't really save the day per se. So I think he'd be fine.
And that's the point of the movie, right? That's the point.
That's it's his point of his character anyway. You're supposed to think he's like this, going to be the big action star in the movie, and he really just does nothing but fumble through the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, Darth X Revan making fun of Nickelback is a lifestyle. Yeah, it is. Yeah. XR Coon 2012. I remember that episode. He remembers that episode of Space 1999. Gave him nightmares. Yeah, it didn't do me any favors either. I was like, he was like 4 at the time. Yeah.
Tyler Bioshock has a question for me. If you had a chance, would you interview director of Halloween 6? A lot of people hate him, like Adam from Jason Goes to Hell. I'd like to hear his side. Yeah, I'll interview anybody. You know, I mean, if people want to sit there and dislike an interview because of who I'm interviewing, then that's their problem. But I think everybody's got a story to tell, no matter how you feel about them. I mean, I'll interview just about anybody, so yeah. I'd definitely ask him how he felt about having his movie put on the shelf for years.
Prince Caspian, is there any movies you guys are excited to see next month? Random? Anything?
God, what's coming out next month? I couldn't tell you what's even coming out next month.
I think the only thing I don't know what's coming out next month offhand. I'd have to look, yeah.
Tom, are you still going to see Happy Time Murders?
I planned on it. I wanted to see it this week, but I got so swamped with editing. I should have went and seen it today, but I'm broke. I've got like a whole $3 to my name, or at least I thought I did. I don't know if I do anymore. Yeah, I do plan on seeing it this week.
There's no discount theaters?
Not really, no. I live in such a rural area.
Well, if you have Marcus Cinemas, they $5 Tuesdays, but...
No, that's clear to hell down in Madison. I think there is a theater about 45 minutes away that does $5 Tuesdays, though, an AMC. But, I don't know. I'll try and get to it this week, yeah.
Joker's 79. Have your teen siblings show Nightmare on Elm Street at 5, then have a Nightmare of Freddy. Okay. I don't know.
Bad Parenting 101?
Prince Caspian. No. Prince Caspian, the nun, the predator.
Oh, teen siblings, not parents. Sorry.
The nun. I don't like horror movies. I'm like, it's not my thing.
Okay, stop the presses.
Farpoint's
The
got
Last
a point,
Dragon
yes.
is coming into theaters soon. This next month.
The original.
Barry Gordy's Last Dragon is coming back. It looks like. It has mannequins.
I was gonna say, I've seen there's some revival shows. Jaws is gonna be showing, I think, nearby. I might go see that if I have the money, but I don't know. I'm so broke. I know you guys are helping out with the super chats and all that, but really, it's like between just keeping the internet going and all that kind of stuff, this channel really doesn't make much. I pretty much make, just as much or more just editing the videos and stuff for the main channel, basically. Not that it's anybody's business or they care, but yeah. As Random can tell you, you don't make a whole lot doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Tyler Bioshock said oh God, I love Marcus Cinemas. They just played Yellow Submarine and they show a lot of classics. Okay, now I have to ask you: was it with the lyrics on the screen? Was it the version?
I'm pretty sure because that was what the whole re-release was about. But yeah.
For you kids with short attention spans, follow the bouncing ball. Freddy versus Jason versus Michael Myers.
Well, it's funny you mention that because there is a deal right now that Legendary is looking at buying the Texas Chainsaw Massacre rights, and Legendary has a deal with Warner Brothers now. So theoretically, at some point, we could get Freddy versus Jason versus Leatherface. I know that was a possibility that was brought up. Even though they were under the same roof for a while back in the 90s as well, but not for very long. I think the Leatherface movie was just a distribution deal. I don't think New Line actually had the rights. Maybe they did, because I think they did the fourth movie too. I can't remember. What do I do for a living, Farpoint Station? I do this, Midnight's Edge, and I drive on the side seasonally for disabled adult. So, yeah. And I'll be starting that in a week or so here, I think. So, not that anybody, like I said, cares, but yeah, that's what I do.
Well, actually, I don't know how we missed the story from Michael Myers. It's, I don't know how Mike Myers is ready to do Austin Powers 4.
Yeah, baby, he's been ready.
Yeah, it's been ready. He wants to make it more of a Dr. Evil movie. They're all really Dr. Evil movies, aren't they?
The third one
Kinda.
kind of was, yeah.
Dr. Evil is, yeah, he's really more the main character than Austin. And well, they sort of split. They have equal screen time, but
Well,
I would
as
love
time
to
has
do a
gone
movie
on,
from Dr. Evil's perspective.
yeah, I think as time has gone on, Dr. Evil definitely became more quoted. But in the day,
Well,
Austin
they kind
Powers,
of ruined him with the third movie, though, by making him Austin's brother.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so I really have. I'm telling you, I just want a good comedy. I just want to go see a good comedy. I really do.
You can't do Austin Powers now. He won't be able to do it the same.
You can do it, but a lot of people are gonna.
Bent out of shape. It's gonna get cut down to shit.
The "fook me, fook you" joke won't work.
None of them will. 90% of what Austin Powers does and says is not gonna fly.
well, you're gonna have a new audience that won't realize that he was frozen from the '60s, and that was the thing. Even back in like the late '90s, early 2000s, people were kind of getting a bit of a stick up their butt about being offended by things, and that was the joke. And now you can't even do that. So I don't think a new audience, like a new modern movie going audience, is gonna really jump on a new Austin Powers movie like we would have 20 years ago.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of the millennials. Oh, that old guy, like with Frozen. Yeah. Oh, like, is that he's not wearing leather, is he? Is that suede?
The only way you could do it now is if you have Austin Powers be all woke and shit, and then it just wouldn't be funny.
No, they'll say he's culturally appropriating all like Scottish people with Fat Bastard and British people with because he's not British. You can't have a British accent. I don't know.
Yeah. They said the only thing you would have to make fun of all the PC culture. That's the way it would work. You may have him make fun of the PC culture. Why you people have such a stick up your ass?
They already were, though. That's just it. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's already to a point where the joke's getting old. The third movie was bad. I'm sorry. I did not like the third movie. It was just like the greatest hits.
Yeah.
And then the only good part was Michael Caine, but then they turned around and fucked that up by making Dr. Evil his brother.
I love the bit about when he sees his father Nigel and Dad, I thought you were being kidnapped. Well, there was some talk of tying me up. So, but actually, there's talk about starting that PC culture. There's a deleted scene actually from the first Austin Powers where he's on the jet. And you see it in the trailers and you see it on the TV spots. Bring on the sexy stews, man. We're called flight attendants now. that bit got cut from the final movie. I don't know why. It was a good bit actually, but it did beat to death though. Somebody had a question about the last Spectre movie. Yeah, they made Blofeld sort of his adopted brother after Bond's parents were killed in a climbing accident. So, Tyler BioShock, yeah, but Austin Powers respects women better than Bond, especially Thunderball Bond. Different time, 1960s. Different time. I mean, that's what people got to realize.
And that's what Austin Powers is a comment on.
Yeah. It's Again, sorry.
Oh no, sorry. They also don't realize though that the women were just as manipulative as the spies. The women were sleeping with James Bond for information, for power, for prestige, for money, for all of these things, and that's what they had, and that's what they used, because we stereotypically and traditionally weren't really given like as many opportunities as the males were at the time, but we knew what we had. We knew what we had to work with, and we knew what we had to do to get the power, as it were.
Yeah, Fiona Volpe was actually manipulating Bond. And, she was using her womanly wiles to get what she wanted out of him. So I mean, and like I said, powerful woman, strong female character. Nobody. She rode a motorcycle too. So. The Too Late Show, Casino Royale, Bond was all about letting girls die. He is badass. No, it really wasn't. I mean, she Vesper Lynd knew that they were going to kill her anyway, so she let go of it. That is actually a very moving scene when she drowns in the elevator. He puts his hand through the door, through the steel door. She kisses it, and then she drowns. That's actually very moving. So the whole saying goodbye part. So, but anyway, important to know, Thunderball was the one with the possible rape scene. It's pretty damn awkward. Nothing else like that in the series. I did love Fiona though. What if Josh Trank directed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Oh God, well, let's not even discuss that. Michael B. Jordan would be cast as something. That's all. Did you guys? Did I lose the audio?
Can't be because no.
I'm just reading the chat. Sorry.
That's okay.
No, he can because isn't he what's his face in Spider-Man already?
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, well, or no, not Michael B. Jordan. That was never mind. I was thinking of what's his face.
Ricky Radio. James Bond is the Doctor Who. Oh no, let's not even go. Let's not even do this. It is not. They're all the same character. Yes, I know they look different, but if that's your only evidence, then you don't have a case. Come on, I am tired of having that discussion.
Well, I just thought that was a fan theory anyway.
It is a fan theory,
it's not
but people. Yeah, it's not. But people are treating it as if it's canon because it's a fan theory. How can one guy not age over 50 years? You have a spy that goes into space, drives a $200,000 sports car, blows shit up all over the world, and that's where you draw the line? Really?
Well, I think it's because he's not animated like The Simpsons. I just kind of think of James Bond as The Simpsons, where they didn't recast any of the voices that I can remember off the top of my head, but if people were aging in real life, if The Simpsons were live action, they would keep recasting those kids every single year, or like the kids from the vacation movies, the Lampoon's Vacation.
That's what I always bring up. How come Chevy Chase doesn't know he has different kids in every movie?
Why they don't have the same kids in every movie?
Because Child Services takes those kids away and puts new kids into Griswold's foster care, man. That's why. See, I've just created another fan theory.
There you go. There's your fan theory. No, the real reason is because what's his face?
And
Russ
Clark Griswold brainwashes those kids into thinking that they're his real parents. That's why.
What's his face who played Russ in the first movie?
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall. He was filming Weird Science. And
I love that movie. They
actually had what's-her-face who played Audrey in the first one. She was going to come back, but they're like, well, since we're recasting one, we're just going to recast both. And then
that's kind of dumb.
It's just how it happened. Because the same people who were behind Weird Science were pretty much the same people behind National Lampoon's The Vacation movie, because there's a whole John Hughes connection there. So basically, it's just, it was just a matter of, he's doing this. So, but then by the time he got to Christmas Vacation, it was because of age. Basically, because obviously Anthony Michael Hall and I can't remember her name, but the one who played the original Audrey, who they basically aged out of the characters by that point.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, same with Vegas Vacation, too. But that's the
same thing with the 007. And that's kind of how I looked. Yeah, in Vegas Vacation, same thing, too. And that's kind of how I always looked at it. It was just a matter of, it was like a TV show that continued, but they just recast the character. And nobody really aged, per se. And it just, I don't know.
Like I said, you just got to suspend your disbelief. That's all. Of all the things that have a problem with in the James Bond movies, like I said, he goes into space, he drives a $250,000 sports car, he has all kinds of gadgets, all that kind of thing. I mean, and he sleeps with many beautiful women without ever catching one single STD. I mean, he would have been dead of AIDS by now. Really. And he could drink like a fish without any...
That's what happened to 80s Bond.
Yeah. He could drink like a fish without any repercussions or not even get a hangover. And you draw the line at the character.
Bond.
Yeah. But anyway, you're talking about Vacation. Did you ever read the short story that movie's based on?
No, but I've heard it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually has a totally different ending. Totally different ending. Do you want?
Well,
do you
the
want me
movie
to
had a totally different ending. It might be like what the movie had, but go ahead.
No. The ending of the short story is different because they go to Chicago. It was written by Doug Henney. I'm not sure. It was written by Doug Kenny rather.
No, it was
Doug
written
Henney.
by John Hughes. I thought.
Yeah. Well, anyway, well, it was published in National Lampoon magazine. So anyway, they drive from Chicago to Disneyland. I think it was Vacation 53, 50, or whatever it was, Vacation 58, I think was the name of the story. Well, anyway, they drive from Chicago to Disneyland. They have such a horrible time. Disneyland is closed for refurbishment. They track down Walt Disney at his house, and the father shoots him. And so Dad gets hauled up to jail. Mom and the kids, they're like, well, we wanted to fly anyway. See you later, Dad. They take off. They fly back to Chicago.
That's similar to what the original ending of the movie was.
No, they kind of have a heart-to-heart with Walt. So, you know.
Well, did you ever like watch the DVD or Blu-ray and hear the commentary where they talk about the original National Lampoon's Vacation ending?
No. What happened?
Because what happens is, okay, it's pretty much the same up until they don't go back to Wally World.
Okay.
Or maybe they do. I can't remember. But I think they go to Wally, whatever the hell is Walton, Sam, whatever the hell his name. It's not Sam Walton. That's the guy from Walmart. What the hell is his name in the movie? I can't remember.
It's like Roy
Wally.
Yeah, Roy Wally. Thank you. They go to his house, and it's the same kind of thing like in the story. But instead of him shooting him, he forces them to perform for them.
Oh.
But it got like real dark, I guess. So then the test audience didn't like it. So then they reshot it with John Candy. So that whole thing with John Candy was a reshoot. And I was pissed because I'm like, you talk about it on the Blu-ray and DVD, but show us. Yeah. I hate that when they do that. When they talk about something, don't show it. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
Well, look how long it took us to get the octopus scene for the Goonies. We heard about it for years.
Actually, that was in the television version. People just forgot.
Was it?
Yeah.
I remember when I saw the television
version. Even the TV version that was on the Disney Channel, yeah. It depended on which TV version you saw because there was various TV versions.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. A lot of times those scenes don't exist anymore. They get left on the cutting room floor and it gets misfiled or whatever. So, does it get archived properly? Misfiled, yeah.
Well, no, I think Paramount had a fire famously or something like that.
Oh, really?
That shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. General Brick says, "Why does it matter if the fan theory is correct or not? Because it's not correct. Because it's not official canon. That's why."
Doomcock's video on canon.
It is not official canon. If you're saying okay, you have to make me do this. Okay, fan theories are not canon. They are not even anything close to storytelling. They are fan fiction. They are what somebody's idea that they would have done if they were making the movie. Okay? And they are not backed up with anything other than the same 4 words. Well, it's not impossible. And all fan theories fall under those same 4 words. The one about the kid in Jurassic Park growing up to be Chris Pratt. The one about Ferris Bueller being dead, or being a figment, or Ferris Bueller being a figment of Cameron's imagination. What else? The Joker being a military veteran with PTSD in The Dark Knight. There's no evidence to support any of these. But people are treating it as if they're true, and they're not. They're making up their own version of the film.
Well, and the Joker one's a good point, because I think Nolan's whole point with the Joker was that you're not supposed to know. You're supposed to, that's his whole part of him being the Joker. Yeah, is he likes to joke about it.
It's deliberately ambiguous.
Exactly. So putting a backstory to it just demeans it in a lot of ways, I guess. I mean, it's cool to have a fan theory to fill in certain gaps sometimes, but you need to understand that that's a fan theory. So if something comes in to contradict that within canon, you have to let it go, basically. Now, if afterwards a director or a writer comes out and says, no, my original intention was this, or like recently with Adam Marcus, when he said, yes, the Book of the Dead is in Jason Goes to Hell for a reason, and he explains all that, and you can check that out in the interview, then yeah, that's a different story. It's different if somebody actually comes out and says that. But otherwise, if it's a fan theory, it's great if it works, and it's neat. Sometimes I've heard some great fan theories, but once you take it to step beyond and like try to push it on people like this is the truth and this is what it is, you're going to get reactions like you just did from Rob. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
Tyler Bioshock R says, also, Rob, do you worry about a future Bond film? Just confirming that theory. I believe they wanted to do that in GoldenEye. Yeah, I am worried, because the day you do that, you break down the entire universe that you built. Oh yeah, that thing you're invested in? Oh yeah, guess what? Fuck you. It's not. We're changing it on you. Ha ha. So, and here's the other thing. And actually, I had somebody on the Midnight Edge group saying, oh, but take a look. Judi Dench is standing there with Pierce Brosnan, and she's standing there with Daniel Craig. I'm like, yeah, it's a different M. They're played by the same actress, but it's a different M. Barbara, and I kept telling him, Barbara Broccoli wanted to bring Judi Dench back because she could. That's why Judi Dench plays M in both movies. That's why. And I keep telling people, movies are not puzzles. Oh, but Lost. I'm like, it's not.
Okay,
not
here's my question then
Lost.
about that. Does Bond act like he still knows her like he did back in the day? Or does he or is it like he doesn't know her again?
No. It's he acts like no, he doesn't act like he knew her during the day. They're familiar because she's the head of the department.
All right.
But at the same time, he doesn't have this long backstory. And Miss it's a new Bond in a new timeline. That is the explanation of Casino Royale. It is a new Bond at the beginning of his career in a new timeline.
So she's technically not even. I mean, she's playing the same character, but she's not. In other words,
she's playing a character. She's playing a character named M. It is not the same M from the.
It's an homage too, but even though she played the same character before, is what you're saying.
Yes, and I've had people say, "Oh, but what about the DB5?" Well, what about the DB5? He wins it in a poker game. You see him win it in a poker game.
It's kind of like the whole Star Trek timeline thing in a way.
Yeah. But what about the license plate? What about the license plate? That isn't a tribute. That is a reference to the 50th anniversary of the character. Yeah, I love headcanon fan theories, but the thing is, we're discussing the fan theory and not the actual film. That's the other problem. We are not discussing the text of the film. We're making up versions of the film that we wish them to be. That's the
kind
thing.
of it's about the same as just having debates on who would win in a fight between Darth Vader and a werewolf. I mean, it's about you're not actually discussing anything in the movie. You're just discussing your well, obviously. but yeah.
Okay. Here I just came up with another one. There are two different Bruce Banners because S.H.I.E.L.D. puts Ed Norton into witness protection. Because Ed Norton was
plastic surgery.
Plastics, yeah. That's even better. That's even better. Like you said, wait a minute. The shark in Jaws is a government experiment that was acquired by a real estate developer to depopulate Amity Island so they could build a resort. See, there you go. So you can make.
You're cutting out real bad there, Rob.
That's the thing. Okay, well, because I'm getting fucking angry. That's why.
Does Skype have a no yelling rule or something? Because that must have been what happened with me and Ren last week.
Yeah, that's the only theory I could come up with. Is it got to a point where you guys had just it thought something was wrong because you guys had overpowered the volume or something that it kept cutting. Because every time I kept trying to reconnect to the call, it wouldn't let me.
Sam Lucas says, I still pretend the bonds are connected. That's because they are connected. Up until Casino Royale, they are connected. They're all married to Teresa DiVincenzo. They all went to Cambridge. They all know Felix Leiter.
Okay, so the way you're explaining it to me, it's more like Godzilla.
Yes.
Okay. That makes
They
sense.
all have the same. They all make references to the.
But see, there's
to
separate timelines in Godzilla too. They rebooted it like 2 or 3 times.
Well, it's not so much they reboot it, and like they are all there. There's common threads through the whole
True,
thing.
But yeah, it's like because like
Roger Moore leaves flowers at Teresa's grave. Who was played by Diana Rigg in the On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yes, there's holes there's holes in these movies. Okay, I admit that, but at the same time, like I said, there's threat. At the same time,
well, in your defense, Rob, to start with, when these movies first came out, there wasn't such a thing as home video.
Right, exactly.
So you didn't expect the movie to live on. So the reason they would keep doing new ones is because, it was just like they did re-releases, but they didn't treat those like they were, some big bad deal, It was a bigger deal to have something new and blah, blah, blah. So I'm sure that was part of the motivation originally, beyond they couldn't get back Sean Connery or whatever it was originally. So they...
Sean Connery was losing his hair. He was starting to look old. Back then, remember, 42, 43, that was old.
Mm-hmm. Well, they aged more rapidly back then, too.
Well, you drank and you smoked, and people had horrible diets. I mean, I was watching MASH, actually, and McLean Stevens said, I'm 44 years old. I'm like, I would have guessed 54. Yeah. Darth X Revan, yes. Daniel Craig's Bond flicks are a soft reboot. The older ones are one long continuous story. They are and they aren't. They share, like I said, they share common elements to them. They're individual stories, but it's the same characters. I guess, and like I said, back then you used to see the movie was released in the theaters. It would have a run for maybe 18 months, maybe sometimes, if it was a hit.
Oh, they used to be out for a while, like a couple months, I remember.
Depending on the movie, they could play for a couple years sometimes.
Yeah, 6 months, maybe at the very minimum 6 months, at the most maybe 2 years, and then after a run at the movies, it would go into moratorium, and then it would be on television, and that was it. And you would see it on television maybe 3 years down the road. Now, like I said, you have cable, you have home video, and you have obsessive guys like us who just scrutinize every single detail. Wait a minute. The DB5 has Pirelli P1s, but in this scene, it has Pirelli P3s. Oh, clearly this is a different car, Well,
and remember, it used to take a lot more than 3 years sometimes to get them on TV, and it was an event. It was like the NBC movie of the week. And it was like once every... in Christmas time, you would get a movie like that.
That used to be the end of the life cycle of a movie. It used to start in the theaters, and then they'd make a big TV deal, and then that was it. You didn't have the video in between. You didn't have cable in between. HBO and video didn't come until the early 80s, late 70s, so that was a whole new ordeal. And at first, the film companies were very, 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 apprehensive about getting into the video industry because they saw it as a big deal as far as they were going to get killed by bootlegs, like people bootlegging movies and stuff, basically. So the industry really didn't pick up until the closer to mid 80s with video, and then that added a little extra life to a movie. And that's the thing now where I say it's a little easier for people to get into something like Cobra Kai or Creed because people grew up on these movies because they had access to them now. It wasn't like Random was saying. You didn't have to wait for that one time in a million that you get a chance to see a movie on TV because, back then it was that was your only chance to get to see it after it was out of theaters.
Yeah. Remember on Al Bundy? It was wanted to watch Hondo, and it was airing once, and that was going to be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. That's what it was like.
Peg, you made me miss Hondo.
Yeah. So, people now want Henry Cavill for James Bond. I don't like Henry Cavill. He's stiff. He's wooden. Him and Sonequa Martin Green, 2 planks of wood. So Patrick Ollinger. Hello, everybody. Yeah, hello, Patrick.
Well, there you go. There's your Bond girl for his movie.
Oh, please. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing Rosario Dawson.
Giggity.
I would. Yeah. She's gorgeous. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. Sam Lucas says I am. Just don't yell at me about it. Yeah, but now you know which button not to press. Yeah, like I said, Rosario Dawson. Who would? Okay. Who would make a good Bond girl? Rosario Dawson. Okay. I didn't like Leah's. Harriet. What?
Pound me too. Pound me too.
Let's see who else.
I think Sam Lucas said that MASH is his favorite TV show. I thought you'd like to.
Yes, MASH is. Oh man, I love
one of
MASH.
your favorites. Yeah.
Yes. I wouldn't mind Bond being played by a black guy, but then you'd have to reboot the whole character. Yeah, to reboot everything. I'm not sure if that's something they're willing to do.
Either one of y'all has a cricket or I do.
There's crickets outside. Yvonne Strahovski as for Bond girl, yes. Can we have a Swedish Bond girl?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm like, yeah. Someone I still keep saying about when I went to Sweden. It was like they were manufacturing people in a laboratory. Everybody's tall, blonde, and perfect. I'm like, dear God, dear God, what do I get? And I remember somebody saying to me, "Where all the ugly people come from? They're coming from America, man. Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We're closing in on 2 hours here.
So what about the girl they cast as Batgirl for a Bond girl?
Who did cast as Batgirl?
Ruby. Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose.
Yeah. Because she's kind of.
You can't because she's is she bisexual?
I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah, I know you can't have a lesbian actress.
She can't just be an actress. God forbid.
Sam Lucas, Maud Adams was Swedish. Yeah.
And I want to thank the 100 people who stuck in with us, by the way.
Yes, 110 people watching in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Ruby Rose, the character of Bond comes before skin color. Yeah, but the character is, they've established who he is. That's the thing. You've established who he is. And, how can, unless you reboot the character, he goes to sleep one night, he's a white guy, then he wakes up and he's a black guy. I mean.
I already kind of had a problem with him being blonde.
And I keep saying the whole idea of the character is not to make. He is not a modern 21st century character. He's a throwback to the Cold War.
You made a good point there, Random. But go ahead. Sorry, Rob.
Oh yeah, had a problem with him being blonde.
Yeah, I remember everybody throwing a tizzy about that.
Yeah. Yes, I remember. They used to call him. They would call him James Bland.
I just call him Ugly Bond because I don't know what women see in him. I think he's kind of got a face that looks like it's been punched a few times, but I don't know, women like it.
Yeah, you might as well have Jason Statham play Bond at that point.
Well, have you ever? Well, you haven't read Casino Royale. That's actually what Ian Fleming describes him as.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's really more. But he's more darker skin, but that's sort of the more grizzled kind of look that he has. But yeah, like I said, actually Joker's 979 says Bond is a British aristocrat, so being black would be an issue. And that's kind of the thing. He's not fighting for the underclasses. He's trying to maintain the status quo for the aristocracy and the British crown. I mean, he's the last vestige of British colonialism. So he's supposed to look out of place in Africa and in India and in Hong Kong. Oh my God, there's a white British guy walking around. Like, yeah, that's the idea.
Well, if it doesn't... go.
He's supposed to look out of place in that. I'm like, oh, I thought we got rid of the Brits a long time ago.
Well, and that kind of goes along with my whole test of whether or not you can change a character's sex or race, and if it doesn't matter or not. If it doesn't affect who the character is in the long run, that's one thing. But if there's things like that, if the original artist who created the character intended it for be that way on purpose, that's one thing. Because I'll say like Superman, he's an alien, so it really doesn't matter what race he is. Batman, to a point, could even be whatever race. As long as he's still got the Batmobile, his parents got killed, etc., and Alfred and stuff like that, it's still Batman.
Well, a lot of people have a problem with when I say this, is that when the Wayne, the way the history of the character is written, when Matthias Wayne came to the New World, back then, you were to come to the New World, you were pretty much wealthy and you were white, and you were a land, you
right,
were
and
a
that's
property
arguable.
owner.
I get
And-
that, but at least with Superman, though, I have an argument because he's adopted anyway. I mean, we've even had Dean Cain play Superman, who's half half Japanese, I think he is,
Yeah,
or something like that. So I mean, it's.
If they recast Batman though as any other, sort of ethnicity, then we'd have to see that scene again with the pearls flying.
Well, that's just it, and that's what I'm getting so sick. I swear that the Waynes have been killed on screen more than any other couple in history. Hollywood hates the Waynes.
Yeah, Captain Robert April. It'd be tough for Idris Elba to go undercover in Russia. Yeah, I mean, Russia has a population of 140 million people, and there's literally only 40,000 to 70,000 Afro-Russians. So, men, there's an MI6 agent here in Moscow. He's carrying state secrets. He's very dangerous. We have orders to shoot on sight. Are there any questions? Yeah, you in the back. Yes, sir. How will we recognize him? Just look for the black guy. Yeah. So, anyway, so we're gonna say, oh, Josh Tenet. Yeah, Rob needs to go to the Netherlands if he thinks Sweden is dope. On a side, lots of
You've
other
been over that
wannabes
way before,
here.
haven't you?
Yeah, I've flown. I had a layover in Amsterdam in Schiphol, and I flew KLM. KLM is a great airline. If you're going to fly to Europe, fly KLM. Really, great airline. They left my bag at Schiphol on my way to Oslo, and they delivered it to my hotel. They actually gave me a $100 voucher for a future flight. They were actually great. They were very courteous, very helpful. I don't get any money from them to endorse them, but if you're flying to Europe, fly KLM. That's the one piece of advice I give to everybody.
Well, even British Airways was good when I flew to the UK. It was 2 hours delayed, but they did upgrade me for free on my connecting flight.
Yes, KLM. Yeah, I flew Virgin Atlantic actually when I flew to London. They're actually very good too. And I flew British Airways to Copenhagen. British Airways is very good airline.
I've never flown anywhere.
But do not fly Finnair. I'm sorry. Do not fly. Finnair was atrocious. If you're gonna fly to Scandinavia, maybe SAS, Scandinavian Air Services, but do not fly Finnair. Granted, the flight attendants are really hot, but do not fly Finnair. Farpoint Station. Do you travel for work or for pleasure? I travel for pleasure mostly. Yeah. My brother Dave wants. This is another brother Dave story. He wants to go to London to see the Yankees and the Red Sox play in London next year. He has trouble getting on a train to go to New York. He's gonna fly to London.
That's such a long flight too. Like, I mean, it's probably not as bad as from Vegas to London, but anything you fly over the ocean.
Yeah.
If he smells, says The Rock should play Bond. Can you smell what the Bond is cooking?
But I told him on one. I'll go to London with you on one condition: if somebody says we have to do this, you do it. I told him right out. If someone says we got to get on this train, we do it. No overruling people. I told him. I told him exactly that. Hey, we're going to Liverpool. No, let's go to Cardiff. What the hell's in Cardiff? No, we're going to Cardiff.
Doctor Who?
Yeah, exactly.
They shoot Doctor Who there, but that's about it. I'd rather go to Liverpool, but
Sam Lucas asked, why are the Yankees and Red Sox playing in London? It's because they promoting the league overseas, which I'm a Yankee fan and I'm not happy about it either. So what can I tell you? I don't make these decisions. There's a lot of Americans that live in London that I imagine will be going to the game. So,
wow.
What?
Joker 79. The only person who could probably tell that joke would be Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle, but Black Batman gets shot by GCPD officer, and Gordon is like, "You killed the vigilante." The cop was like, "He was a vigilante?"
I said one time a black man's gonna get pulled over driving that car. So, yeah. Sam Lucas, neutral territory. No, they want to promote baseball overseas. That's what it is. Shouldn't they go to Japan? Yeah, they play games in Japan. Rob, what's my day job? My day job is I'm a comedian, and actually I'm sort of a building super. I'm taking care of a couple apartments actually for somebody. So but I'm looking for something a little bit more lucrative, as the saying goes. So not much money in comedy, not at this level. Okay, that joke was great. Okay, there's going to be a lot of British bored by baseball. It's not even, and not just the ones watching it on TV.
I could have told the joke like Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle. I don't do a bad version of them, I don't think. But anyway.
Let's see some titties!
You can't have a black Batman. He gets shot by the cops right away. Wouldn't work. He'd be like, bang! I got him. Gordon be like, great, you got the Batman vigilante. And the cop be like, what vigilante? Sprinkle some crack on him.
Yeah. Someone asks, yeah, Liverpool's great. Did I go? Yeah, I went to Liverpool. Yes.
I didn't get to go. I really would have loved to. I didn't see London. I only saw the airport in London. But I went up north.
London's great. Where did you go?
I was in Newcastle for most of it, and Scotland.
If you go up to Manchester, you can actually take the boat, the ship overnight, the cruise ships to Norway.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, a lot of British tourists in Norway. The ships come into the fjord, and you can see them parked in there. Now, Andre will be able to tell you about that. Actually, have I ever worked with Henry Zabrowski? No, I have not. I had British tourists on a bus. We actually got lost around the fjord, which is actually pretty cool, though. I kind of like getting lost in a foreign city. But they said to me, "Where are you from?" So I'm from New York. Oh yeah, you must be living at McDonald's. I surprised them. Says, "No, actually, I don't eat McDonald's." I mean, so and they were really surprised by that. I saw a video about sports by Brain for Breakfast, and I have never been more insulted as an American. I don't know who Brain for Breakfast is, so I'll take your word for it. I heard Liverpool was awful back in the Beatles era. John Lennon has some less than positive. Yeah, it was a tough town. It was a very kind of run down place. Now the tourism has revitalized it.
Well, they wanted to get out of there for a reason.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the bands, a lot of like the really successful British bands, even up into the heavy metal era, were kind of from these rundown British cities.
Yeah, Manchester is, Liverpool, Newcastle. I mean, a lot of,
the Animals from Newcastle.
Yeah, post-war Britain. I mean, post-war Britain was not a pleasant place from what I've read.
Well, that's how a lot of the heavy metal sound was born too. In the kind of industrial cities, it just sort of all. It kind of matched what they were going through in their environments, and there was a lot from what I read. There was a lot of like single mothers left over because of the war, because their husbands went off and got shot in the 40s. So
Rick Van Boberson, I love you guys on MEAD, but right now you're sounding so dated with not understanding how YouTube personalities are gaining pull in movies. We are. We are. I don't know. Okay.
Well, that's because all the YouTubers that end up in movies are like these vlogger people.
Well,
like your Logan Pauls.
I was gonna say, what was his name? That was just guy who was just in a movie. I can't think of it.
The kid who used to do Fred. Remember him?
Oh, that's old school, but no.
Yeah, well, I was like, yeah, nobody's gonna get tired of this. Okay. All right. It's getting close to that time.
We probably sound dated because we're old. Well,
yeah, we are.
Rob and I are.
I'm older than you.
Shh. You're a spring chicken.
I might be a robot though, so
that's right.
What my true
in robot years, you're nothing.
And random.
You're a blink of the eye.
Random, at the very least, if I saw you in a bar, you're old enough so I could buy you a drink illegally. I mean, that's the thing.
Oh yeah.
All these kids on YouTube are like 18, 19.
Yeah, and they look it too. Like a lot of these kids look like they look like they're about 12. Even pop stars too, but that's dating myself quite a bit. And then I see women like the YouTubers that are like just pushing 30, and I'm like, oh my god, you look 10 years older than me. What gives? And it's because they have all this makeup caked on, and it just ages them. But
yeah. Tyler Bioshock goes, speaking of the Beatles, please tell Rob and Tom Please tell Rob and Tom have played the new Wolfenstein games. It has Beatles becoming a German pop group with a song called Blue U-Boat. They were breathing in the metal long before they pick up guitars. Yeah. Okay. It's getting close to that time. Let's pick random. Pick a number from 1 to 10.
6.
Okay. 6 more questions, guys. I just had my first rum and coke. Rum and coke's pretty good.
Congrats.
Congrats. If you smell, hey, I'm on YouTube and I'm 29. We're not saying there aren't people that are older doing it, but try Pepsi and sake.
Well, hell, Dukak's older than all of us. He's like in his 170s.
Yeah. So yeah, getting time shifted, you know.
Yeah.
Tyler BioShock context: Germany wins World War II, and they are a group called Die Kämpfer. Die Kämpfer. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Die Kämpfer?
I don't know.
Okay,
I haven't played the Wolfenstein games, so.
That's why we
Sam
need
Lucas.
Andre.
Sam Lucas, try some good if you're old enough, if you're of legal drinking age, try some good high-end scotch. Macallan 12. You're gonna pay a good money for it at a bar, but it's well worth it. Oban is good.
You know they're not asking questions on purpose, right?
Yeah, they are. They're tormenting me. Yeah.
Rob's
you
gotta
guys can
pee.
ask me stuff too. Within reason. No.
Look up the documentary Heavy Metal Britannia. That's not a question, but I will. Here in Brazil, they are also putting YouTubers in movies. They give a leading role to a makeup and diet vlogger, Glenn Fittich. Glenn Fittich is good. High-end scotch, yes. High-end scotches. Well, it's not high-end. There are higher-end scotches, but Macallan is a good start. Never ice in whiskey. That's right. You dilute it. And don't drink Fireball. Fireball is terrible. Why would you put... Well, it's probably not very good whiskey to begin with. Maybe we should just do a cocktail podcast.
Well, yeah, like a drinking podcast. Absolutely. They could tip us to drink. Tip us to take a shot.
Sam Lucas, I still ask this every time. When is post-Nemesis?
Lightweight.
When is post-Nemesis? Post-Nemesis is anything after the movie Star Trek Nemesis.
You guys are gonna get me sloshed, and I'm gonna be like acting all fucked up.
How I Met Your Mother? How I Met Your Mother that time? They were drinking every time Robin said "but." I'm
sure I say. I'm sure I stutter or something. You guys can make a drinking game out of every time I stutter.
Johnson at Yamazaki is good. What about Cobra Whiskey? What about Cobra Whiskey? Space 1999, Season 1 with Professor Bergman, or Season 2 with Maya? Oh, God, it's been so long since I've seen Space 1999. Why do you do this to me? Midnight's Edge Happy Hour. Let's do it. Yes.
All it's going to be is like me going, I love you guys. You guys are so awesome. This is so... And I love Doomcock, and I love Harvey.
And you'll turn the camera on and take your shirt off for the camera, and you'll have like a necktie around your head.
See my boobies.
Okay, we got Tim on Flip. Tim on Flip. Have you tried Caipirinha? Actually, no, I have not. What blue cat? Anybody else try? Anybody else try that?
No.
No.
That's a little out of my price range.
What? That's how I know about it. I have no idea.
What do you think of Irish Cream? It's very good.
I'm not touching that.
Ever Numb wasn't the original couple episodes of Old Battlestar Galactica released in theaters like in the 80s Buck Rogers TV show. Yes, the pilots were there was a couple episodes released into theaters in censor rounds. I remember that. Buck Rogers was also released in the theaters. Random, did you happen to check out the heavy metal band Wisdom? I suggest the album Marching for Liberty.
I haven't heard of them. Are they a newer band or an older band? And
They're
what genre?
Old band.
Yeah, or like what kind of metal too? That's the thing. I could get into subgenre and decades and.
God, Spinal Tap needs to make a new movie so they can comment on music now.
Yes.
We're slow metal, slow, adult, contemporary, classic rock / alternative, contemporary.
Midnight's Edge. Our new cocktail. Tim on Flip. Yeah, Midnight's Edge on the rocks. That's good. Tyler Bioshock R. You're going to call Ren and Random and ask them to do things in a drunken stupor. Yes. Yes, I am.
Drunk text somebody.
Random, I don't know if you know this, but you so sexy.
Smiley face.
So that means don't give you guys my cell phone number, right?
You know,
Got it.
You hollow number, you. Since Tyler Bosch, I sent around. I moved Kentucky Fried Chicken. That was feel arounds.
Here's the thing: is like I get drunk and I'll be like goofy, like, "Hey, you want a dick pic?" And you'd be like, and then I'll send you a pic of like a guitar pic that says "dick" on it. That's where I get.
That's kind of funny, though. I mean, that's kind of funny.
I'll fuck with people. I already try to fuck with people when I'm sober. Yeah.
Well, some guys just send dick pics. Like, I didn't ask for that. Thanks. Block or mute or something. So if you mute somebody, then they don't know that you've blocked them.
Yeah. It's finger licking good. Yes. Zucker Abrams. That was the first Zucker Abrams and Zucker movie, the Kentucky Fried Movie, I think. Okay.
There's the alarm.
There's the alarm.
I've got to hurry up.
Yeah, they're closing on us, guy. Closing in on us.
What the fuck did you do today, Rob? Did you forget to feed Jake again?
Yeah, Jake's getting kind of lonely in that shed.
They're coming to arrest that cricket, maybe.
Yeah. Sam Lucas, what would Gene Roddenberry think of the current Star Trek? He would think, what the fuck did you do to my show? That's what he would think.
Turn on the fucking lights.
Yeah. Why do you think we don't have a window on the bridge, you idiots?
$100 million and you ain't got no money for lights? Two cocks on a Klingon, I'm out.
Why are we looking at the Klingon tits and not the Orion tits? Come on.
Yeah. I open my eyes. I get out of bed. I walk over to the window. I see.
Put a gun to my head.
I pull the trigger. It doesn't work. There's no battery in it. I knew we should use energizers. So,
still going.
I love the picture of Mikey Spock holding the phaser backwards. I love that. That is the greatest picture ever. It just shows you that there's absolutely zero attention to detail.
I don't even think we've even brought that up much on the Trek log yet, so...
I absolutely love it. It just shows you, it just encapsulates every single thing wrong with Star Trek Discovery. It is just so ass backwards. Oh, so kind of like Stargate-like quality. Yes, okay. Okay.
I hope she shoots herself, too. What do we got left? Like 3 questions?
Yeah, we got 3 questions, yeah.
Make them good ones, guys.
Good ones, guys. I'd like to thank everybody for sticking around with us, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob's got to pee. Let's go.
I am master of my own bladder. I am master of my own bladder.
Told you need a bucket.
Yeah, or a bottle.
Can you show that image? Tom, can you put that image up on? Can you find that image?
Of which one?
Mikey Spock holding the phaser backwards?
I can try quick, yeah.
Did she? Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's like a production still.
It was she just like examining the prop to look at the detail, or
no, it's actually a scene from a scene from that they were actually filming.
Oh god. Why didn't she shoot herself in the head? Then we could be done with her. I'm so tired of the character.
Chris Ortiz, who do you think should replace Kevin Tsujihara at Warner Brothers? That's a good question.
A monkey.
Seth MacFarlane.
A literal monkey.
1,000
could do a better job.
1,000 monkeys chained to 1,000 typewriters.
Yeah, but they just end up with Shakespeare, and that wouldn't test very well with the millennial woke audience.
There it is. It's on Twitter. Here it is.
Right, awesome.
Yeah. Hold on, but it's that's kind of blurry. Hold on. Shit.
Mikey Spock was trying to subvert our expectations.
For what? Like a good story,
a good actress,
character.
Well, okay, she may be a good actress, but yeah, a well-written character.
I don't have any evidence that she is a good actress because I don't remember her on Walking Dead, and I watched Walking Dead.
Well, it's okay. Let me go to Twitter. Let me go to the original picture on Twitter because it's probably a lot. The resolution's probably clearer. Here we go. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! There it is. Let me open a new tab. Just a moment.
Don't pee your pants now, Rob.
Well, is this kind of as dumb as Tilly saying that Star Trek is for children? Or Discovery's for kids?
I know. Bless her big boobed heart.
There it is. I'm sending it over Skype, Tom.
I love her character, but that was just really cringeworthy. I know the video you're talking about, Random.
Can you zoom in?
Oh my god!
Can you highlight? Can you zoom in on that?
Yeah, I
for
probably can.
On
here. Hang on. I gotta get it first.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, you're gonna love this. This is great.
She's
so
unaware of. Oh my god.
Unbelievable.
I think there was another one where she had it backwards too, then, because that's not the one I saw before.
It's unbelievable, though. How did it make it past editing?
Where the hell did it download?
How did that make it out of rehearsal? Like, didn't somebody hand her the phaser and say, "Okay, Sonequa, here"? I mean, does anyone direct these episodes?
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get it here.
Or they just kind of let go in front of the camera with the script and said, "Do whatever you want." That really feels like what Star Trek Discovery is. That's why they're holding the phasers backwards and they're reading the stage directions and they're doing all this stupid crap instead of acting. It's like nobody went over anything in rehearsal. They just kind of were.
No, they don't give a shit. They do not give a shit.
And they have the nerve to jump on our ass, saying, "Oh well, we have to stand up for our crew. There are people on this crew, you know." Oh, but when you're doing stupid shit like this, maybe you need to be called out for it sometimes. I mean,
End of simultation.
Yeah. And now, like, the latest thing on Twitter I found last week was some interview with Tilly, the actress who plays Tilly, Mary Wiseman, who's basically saying, "Yeah, I love getting all this feedback. I had a little girl that was 7 years old in Germany tell me that she loved Star Trek Discovery, and I love being this role model for these kids." Star Trek Discovery, you love saying the F-bomb and smoking whatever alien substance you were smoking in front of children. You love seeing Klingon rape and torture scenes. You love seeing cannibalism. You know, you love showing that to kids. It's a great sentiment, but man, and some people pointed out on my video that I made about it that it smelled to high heaven like this actress was just reading lines, like it was just a script she was given. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to fast forward to.
All right, it's on screen now. Finally.
There it is, guys. The smoking phaser.
See, and I think there's another one out there too, because I swear there was one with her and Georgiou, and she had it just holding it, and it was backwards.
Let me see if I can dig that up. Hold on.
I could be wrong, but I could have swore. But
phaser backwards. Just phaser backwards. Wrong way, Michael Burnham. Look at the gun. This is from Reddit. Oh my god. Like I said, there's just like nobody. Is anybody gonna watch? Hold on.
I just saw it on screen here. The couple of seconds delay, I just saw it come up on my stream. This is hilarious. It's like, oh, please don't pull the trigger. Please stop. Don't.
Like I said, there's just no attention to detail. There's just no attention. Nobody cares enough to say, "Hey."
I'm sorry. This is way funnier than it should be.
Yeah, Jade Point 2.0. It's so unprofessional. Yeah, it's completely unprofessional. Professional? Yeah, it's completely unprofessional. It's nobody they don't care. They simply just don't care. It's mind-boggling. I mean, it really is. And these are supposed to be and she's supposed to be the bestest ever.
I know. She's so good she doesn't realize that she's gonna blow her own stupid head off. Oh God.
There's pictures of Georgiou. She's got the phaser, and I like the first episode. 210-pound women are gonna take down a ship full of Klingon warriors.
Oh, I know.
That's believable. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, I can't find another picture right now, but there's probably another one floating around. Star Trek Discovery phaser backwards I put in for the search. It's not coming.
I still love, even in the title, the opening credits, they're showing a different communicator and a different phaser or something. I know one of the props was different. I can't remember if it was the communicator or the phaser. But it's not even the one that they use in Discovery, and they're showing it in the title. It's something from like a later series, too. It's like a TOS era.
Yeah, Captain
Timeline.
April makes a point here. As late in the season as that was, she has no fucking excuse not to know what end of the gun to know one end of the gun. Not only that, it just, how could it naturally feel like it should be in your hands like that? It makes no sense to me.
Because the longer part, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Lokta, what will people in the future looking back at us say about movies, games, and comics now? They'll say this was the dark era. That's what they'll say.
We'll have the Kathleen Kennedy era that we don't talk about in Star Wars, or the CBS All Access era of Star Trek that we just don't refer to. Those were dark times in the canon wars. A lot of lives were lost. Many planks of wood died that day. Seraph says it's the communicator. Okay, thank you. It's the communicator that was in the opening credits. That was different.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Maybe she was high. Okay, we'll count that as a question.
Maybe she's a shitty actress and doesn't know how to hold a gun.
Let me tell you, they actually when Daniel Craig took over the role as 007, as James Bond, they actually brought in guys from MI6 to show him how you would shoot. They actually trained him how to shoot to make it more authentic.
Well, and look at Keanu Reeves in John Wick. I mean, you believe he can take down a whole bunch of people with guns. He looks around corners with guns like you would. Yeah, I don't get it with these people. But this is edited so fast on Discovery, you don't even see it half the time, too.
But how does she not say this?
Keanu invented gun fu and car fu, so just remember that.
Yeah, was Mikey Spock the plank Worf walked? Yes. What did you do during the Canon Wars, Daddy? Well, let me tell you, I was there.
I fought on the front line with the Midnight's Edge.
I have the Canon Wars shirt that says "I stand with Doomcock" on the back.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go. We followed valiantly behind our leader, Mr. Doomcock.
So somebody needs to edit something with Data saying "remove plank," and then Mikey Spock is just erased from existence. Somebody needs to do that.
That reminds me of the old George Lucas cartoon where he's sitting at a bar and he's like, Jar Jar, I need to talk to you for a minute. And he goes through this whole spiel and he's like, Jar Jar's going off and he just goes, Control, Alt, Delete. And he just disappears. It's like, I should have done that for Howard the Duck.
In the case of Bond and Wick, they ate using essentially real guns. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, authenticity. Authenticity. It's all about making the audience believe who you are.
And that just proves she's never seen Star Trek. Like, if you've even seen the old series or any of them, you would know. You would have held a phaser or seen a phaser at some point, and you would at least get the basic concept of what it is.
That's a good question. I wonder, has anybody ever asked these people if they've actually watched Star Trek before?
It's like a job interview. You always lie and say you have more experience than you actually do, I think.
I saw an interview with her, one of those promotional blurbs. She says, well, it was always around in my house, and, I feel I kind of grew up. She didn't actually say she watched it, but she said it was always around. That's a way of saying, no, I've never watched it before. Oh, when I started watching it, I became a fan.
Yeah, Scott Bakula said the same thing, that he never really watched Star Trek. Or no, he flat out said he wasn't a fan, and he's kind of everybody's least favorite captain.
At least have respect for the material, please. At least have respect for the series.
Well, at least respect that he came out and said he didn't. I hate the Sonequa Martin Green answer. Because you're basically saying, no, I never really watched the show, like he just said. Where I'm curious as to how many people actually have, that are on the show, have actually seen Star Trek. I'm willing to bet, like, maybe, I bet you Doug, the guy who plays...
Doug Jones?
Yeah,
Doug
I bet
Jones.
you he has. And maybe Jason Isaacs seen, like, the original.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of them have seen random episodes of TNG, but they probably be like, isn't that the one with the guy with the funny thing on his face with the eyes, the reading rainbow guy? Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And LeVar Burton actually did a couple episodes of Reading Rainbow from the set of Next Generation.
Isn't his name Data? Yeah, I like that show.
The Star Trek.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one with R2D2, right?
The guy with the ears.
Mm-hmm.
Nanu, that guy.
The Daleks, right?
Now you're giving way too much fucking credit.
Yeah.
You know the fellow Mork from Mork, that guy. Yeah, isn't he the one? Okay, all right, guys, we've had fun. I think it's time to wrap this up. I'm fading fast. All right, I'm still looking for the other picture of the phaser backwards. Maybe it'll surface in the.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe this was it.
Maybe
it
you
was a
imagined
zoomed in
it.
one. Yeah, I could have, but I could have swore Georgiou was in the picture too. But
Apparently,
Well,
there was
anyway.
a scene. Seraph just checked it. He says that there. It was. He just looked at the scene. It was a quick. She had it backwards and they quick cut and edited it to. It was to the right way around.
No, well, there's still the evidence is out there now.
Yeah. So it actually made it to air.
Can't take it back. End of simultation.
what's worse is that it made it to air.
Yeah.
Because now, I can understand back in the day, things would get through a lot easier when you were editing with film and video and stuff like that. With digital nowadays, you should be able to notice this shit a lot easier and be like, wait, we can't let that get past. Go to a different take where she has it in the right hand. Or when they were filming that day, don't you think somebody would have noticed? Or something like that? It's just, yeah. Those kind of gaffes just can't get past in a show like this.
Like, remember for years, the original cut of Return of the Jedi had two of the TIE fighters coming out of the bottom of the Millennium Falcon? You remember that?
Yeah, but that's just because that was one of those things where they weren't going to redo the whole fucking effects shot just for that.
But like I said, but back then it was understandable that something like that could slip through. I'm like, well, we can't fix it now.
Right? Yeah, you could fix that in an afternoon now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Back then, that was like days probably worth of work or more.
Yeah. That shot took us all day to set up that shot. Like I said, they can't go back and fix it now. So anyway, but like I said, it just proves they don't give a shit. It really does. It just proves they absolutely do not give a shit. Even if that shit was even that shit was flying, they would not give it. Not yet. Seraph Armoros. Jesus, with $9 million an episode, they should have just edited the phaser with CGI.
Yeah, it would have taken him like 2 minutes.
What's worse is nobody fucking noticed. That's what I was getting at. Is it because if they did, they would have fixed it.
Yeah.
Well, and how long are they actually spending with each frame too? As an editor, Tom, how long do you think it would take to edit a scene like this?
You would
together?
notice. You should have noticed, and they probably did. And the editor's like, "Fuck them."
Yeah. Probably. They're probably like, I don't care.
That or they just didn't notice because they didn't know any difference either.
Yeah.
I mean, usually when you're editing something, you go through it over and over and over. And when you're going through these shots, generally when you're doing a show like this, they go so fast. Chances are the director's the one that says this shot, this shot, this shot. I don't know, you know, and it's all laid out to where what you have, or they sit there and they figure out between so many shots or whatever. But regardless, if you pick this specific shot and you can clearly tell right in the middle of the screen that she's got the phaser the wrong way, then you pick a different fucking shot. Or if that's the shot that the director insists on having, then you go, okay, well then you spend the $2,000-3,000 to fix it with CGI or whatever it costs. It might not even cost that much because you could probably do it in Photoshop real quick. But still, point is, shit like that shouldn't get by nowadays.
Tyler Bioshock says, "Okay, Rob, if you Google Mikey Spock, your second thing that comes up is first is a pic of Mikey Spock." The Leonard Nimoy with the Discovery uniform on. that, and this new picture of her looks like almost like she's a wax mannequin. It really does. She has the stupid kid in play hair, and she looks. She's like I said, she has a dull, expressionless look on her face. Oh my God! Really. I mean, really. Like I said, we're just aghast at the, and this whole thing about this is not your Star Trek. I'm like, you're right. It's not my Star Trek. It's not anybody's Star Trek.
No.
And that's the problem. I Am Mikey. Mary Sue originated from a Star Trek fanzine.
Well, I look at it this way. If you have to turn around and say, I like it because it's different than the old Star Treks were, then that's the problem.
Yes.
Then it's not Star Trek. It should be something else completely then. Tardigrades,
yes.
The TV show.
Well, I hear so many people who don't like TOS but love Discovery. And like, I don't think you like Star Trek if you don't like TOS. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And when you have to tear down the original series in order to justify liking Discovery, that's also a problem.
Well, yeah, I posted on the...
Okay.
I just posted on the Facebook group that I'm going through the Next Generation proper. Because, when I was a kid and saw it, it was all over the place in syndication and stuff. And I watched it, like at 10 o'clock on Sundays or whatever it was on one of my local channels and stuff like that for years. Or actually it had been 11 because it was after Siskel and Ebert. But anyway, point being, I'm finally watching it proper, but I'm like watching the first and second. I'm like, these shows are not nearly as bad as everybody's trying to make them out to be. Sure, it probably gets better, but I'm glad. Everything should get better. I don't want it to get worse, But like, why do people put down the first couple seasons of TNG is beyond me, because this shit's great. Sure, there's some episodes that are just like, I could take or leave it, but there's some episodes here that, I could probably put in a top 25 list easy.
It's because that's all they have. They have one. A lot of these people are Discovery lovers, and they love to use that as people hated TNG. And like, no, they didn't. They were mildly cautious, but for the most part, it was a pretty positive reception.
Well, 2 episodes that I can think of right offhand are in the second season. The one where Data doesn't want to be disassembled. Mm-hmm. And the one where where we just talked about it the other night, Rob, with the Klingon exchange program with Riker.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, sorry, Random. Finish your thought. My bad.
Oh no, you're exactly right. I mean, and a lot of the people definitely they don't understand the difference between. They think, complaints are complaints. It's like, no, there's a different level of complaints. There's like a little mild murmur of, like about a 2 out of 10 for people who didn't like TNG, the season 1 and 2, or DS9 or any of those shows. And for people who hate Star Trek Discovery, it's a 20, it's through the roof. It's, 1,000 or something. And they don't get the difference in levels of hatred for one or the other. They just say, oh, well, you didn't like it. It's the same as back then. And they don't get it. They don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think that's probably about as good a place to leave it.
Probably. I know you got to pee.
Yeah. 96 people still hanging out with us.
Thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button, as the kids are saying nowadays.
Yeah. That actually, from what I heard, that helps us come up in the recommended section on the side. But Random, tell them where people can find you.
I am Mecha Random42. You might still find me under Random Game User 42 for whatever reason. I don't think it's changed in the sub box. I have YouTube, Patreon. I have a Twitter. I'm at Random Monkey. And that's where I'm at. Tom?
Of course, you can find me here at Midnight's Edge After Dark and Midnight's Edge, and on Twitter at Thomas Connors Jr. All right, that's about it, I suppose. And Robo Shlomo, check him out on Twitter as well.
Yeah, you can find me Robot Shlomo on Twitter. I'm the only Robot Shlomo on Twitter. That makes things pretty easy. Everybody, if you like what we do here, please click the subscribe button, click the bell icon, share with your friends. Check us out on Patreon. You can support the channel for as little as $1 a month on Patreon. You get all kinds of bonuses. You get outtakes, bloopers, lost episodes, behind the edge making of episodes. You can see the pre-animation for the new Trek log that's out there right now for Patreon users. Isn't that right, Tom?
Yes, it is.
Way to step on the bit there, Tom. So, anyway.
Well, I had my shit made, and I'm like, fuck.
That's okay. So they got pills for that. Anyway, as I always say, if you don't have the means to support the channel, please click subscribe, click the bell icon, share with your friends, check us out on the main channel. Click subscribe and click the bell icon over there.
Share with your loved ones, your non-loved ones, your enemies, your frenemies.
Your enemies.
Your
nemesis.
boss. Well, maybe not your boss. You don't want them to know you listen to this shit.
And it's a great day to press the button, TM. So, and as I always say, just like I said, if you don't have the means to support us, just let the ads run because we get some ad money from that. It's just a minor inconvenience. Just click mute. Most tabs you can mute themselves.
You know you want a squatty potty.
Yes, because as we always say, we cannot do this without you. So for everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
The cricket didn't say goodnight.